All right, well, this is episode 273 of the Current Gen podcast. This episode's a little different. We're recording ahead of time because of the holiday weekend. We got travel plans messing with recording plans as if one thing is more important than the other. That's just crazy talk, but we're recording ahead of time for a couple reasons. One, I didn't want to skip an episode, but the other reason it's easy to do this is there really isn't a major new game release happening between, last episode and this one. So it gives us a chance just to pause and just talk some silliness. We'll do a couple of little games. We'll rank some things together, and then we will close it out with, hey, anything you've been playing the last few days that you want to highlight, even if it's the same stuff, that's fine. If you want to highlight things that you're playing or watching, so we'll close out with that like we normally do. A segment that we haven't done for a while, both with Kyle or Dan, is Rank This, where we pick a topic, pick a genre, a category, a something, and we give our either top 5 or top 10, and sometimes we do a shared ranking. Well, this one, we'll keep it civil. We'll just give our personal picks for top first-person shooter games, and we are going to focus in on the more like action. What do we call them? Shooty, pew pew.
Just shooty, like,
right?
or shooty.
Just
What's the mechanic?
straight
Shooting.
Straight up shooting.
What else
Yeah.
do you do?
Yeah.
You may drive
Yeah.
a vehicle, but it's shooting.
How do you slay your enemies? Shoot them. Do you have any role-playing elements? No, shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you've got an honorable mention or two, like I do, that's maybe not a pure FPS that you just want to say, hey, listen, this game is first person, has some shooting, and I love it, but not on the list because kind of is in a different category. That's totally fair. We got time. You can throw some love to some honorable mentions if you got a few of those, but we'll keep it focused on first person shooters. That's mainly because we've all been playing, even our buddy Jeff, who has not had much time to game this year, playing a lot of Doom, the Dark Ages, which we've been loving. It's a lot of fun. And just kind of reminds me of when this genre is done right. It really is super fun. Like it's very satisfying. It just scratches that itch of I need to get some adrenaline out. This kind of game does that for sure. So, all right. So we'll do that first. We'll rank some of our favorite first-person shooter games. Again, the idea here is that these are typically non-RPG games. It doesn't mean they have no RPG elements in them, but the idea is that it's a shooter first. Anything else comes second. And but we're not going to set hard and fast rules. We're not sharing the list, so whatever games you put on there is fine. How do you guys want to do it? Do you like doing like one at a time, 5, one at a time, 4, and work your way through? Do you want to,
Yeah, one or two at a time. Yeah, just so one person's not talking for a long time. Also,
let's do that.
I might pillage some picks of y'all's that I just forgot about.
Samesies.
Yeah, so that helps me pillage a little bit. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, Dan, why don't we start with you? We'll go alphabetical. Why don't you give us your number 5 favorite first-person shooter?
Okay. These aren't actually even in any particular order.
I almost said ahead of time, Dan probably didn't rank his because he doesn't like to do that. But
well, it's more that like I'm less of a first-person shooter enthusiast versus third-person.
Fair.
Which fair. I've said plenty of times before, but there are some that I'm like, these are pretty fantastic. So like that's essentially what I cobbled together here. So
okay. Oh, and by the way, we'll do honorable mentions at the end in case there's any that were missed that we want to shout out. Yeah.
Yes. So the first one, I'll do the 2019 Modern Warfare Call of Duty. That was like the first Call of Duty in a while that I actually even like cared about, and I even played the campaign. Like I haven't even played the campaign of Black Ops yet, the new one. Like I haven't even, because it was just the multiplayer is so fun. But that one just like I remember when they first showed it.
Very good.
When they first showed it, I was like, this looks interesting. Like I want to play this, and it was really fun. In that one particular mission where they go in the building and they're using the night vision, which is sick.
Yeah. Kind of like Zero Dark 30 situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the one that really sticks out in my head because that was just cool. And then the other one is, and I don't know if this is like the least favorite in the series. I swear I remember a lot of people be like, oh, this one's like the worst one, but I actually liked it the most, even though I haven't played the entire series. But Killzone 3. I don't know if you guys remember Killzone 3 on the PS3.
Right, I might be saying 2 of these games a little bit later. Both of these games that you said, but different versions. Different maybe iterations, maybe.
Okay, yeah, but I remember Killzone 3 like being. It was like I think it was kind of an early PS3 game from what I remember.
Yeah, I kind of remember Killzone 2 and 3 just not getting maybe the love that it deserved. Like even though I thought they were absolutely excellent first-person shooter campaigns, both of them.
Yeah,
good stories.
They were fun. They looked good. I remember the reason the 3 sticks out of my head is I remember the cutscenes. Like there's those generals in that room that are all kind of like yelling at each other and kind of plotting and scheming and stuff. And I just remember that, like, I don't know, there was just something really interesting about it. That I just thought that like those cutscenes were really cool and interesting. So, but yeah, I remember really enjoying that one. So, yeah, those are my couple so far.
Those are good picks. I like that. I think that franchise is going to be called out a couple other times as we go through this. Kai, why don't you go next? Give us number 5 and then number 4, like Dan did. We'll do these first 2, and then we'll do one at a time for our top 3.
Yeah, sure. I picked Killzone 2 as my number 5. I really like that one. I like 3 a lot as well. In fact, when I think about it, maybe they both blend together, and who knows which parts I'm thinking of when I'm thinking about that series. But I just remember really liking 2, and I remember, gosh, I don't remember if they were like co-op or they had some kind of co-op element, but I did play multiplayer a lot with some friends, which was like okay.
Is 2 when you go to their planet?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's 2. Yeah.
Okay, one is you're fighting off the invasion, and 2 you go. I can't remember now, but yeah.
I think 3 you are also, because you're on like on a snowy planet, but like you're in their territory. I think, right? I think you're still there. I can't remember. Like,
I definitely played 1 and 2.
We're still
don't think I played 3.
So yeah, like that one a lot. And my other, my number 4, it would be Rainbow Six Vegas 2. That is a co-op game. That's a big major plus for me is whenever a first-person shooter is like, hey, bring a buddy with you the whole way through. It's like, hey, that's.
And what console or system did you play that on?
360 I played that on. So very easy back in the day to recruit people to play like a Tom Clancy game. Pretty hard these days. That doesn't really carry the name that it used to, in my opinion, unless like you're a big Siege fan, which I understand has its fans. But like, man, these co-op like campaign games used to be kind of like the bread and butter of those releases, or at least like mission-based or mission structure first-person campaigns. And this one was particularly very good. The story was great. It's a continuation from the first one, which was great. Very, very, very good game. So those would be my 5 and 4.
Nice. I like those. All right, so for number 5 for me, I'm going to go with Borderlands 2. It's the only Borderlands game I ever finished. But you can make an argument that it's got a lot of RPG elements. It does, but to me, it's a shooter first. Like it's a shooty pew pew game. And the thing to me that stood out about it, I mean, other than the fact that the art style I really liked. I liked the first game, but the second one I thought was just better looking. It was bigger. There was more to do. The mechanics, the amount of loot you got was just crazy. The characters I thought were they were funny in the first one, but the second one it just really was just everything was bigger and better. You know, it was that classic.
They found the tone.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Ashley Birch's brother wrote that game. Very good. Good. Very funny writer. Yeah.
Did not know that. There you go. Little factoid for you. That's what we're here for, guys. Current facts. That's why
it is. Sometimes my little brain just grabs something random like that, you know?
And I like it. Let's keep that going. Yeah, so Borderlands 2 is I put a lot of time into that one too. I think I'm like on my Steam account where I played it on PC on a gaming laptop I had back in the day. Probably about like 80, 90 hours. That's a lot for a first person shooter game. Played it a lot. Played some multiplayer as well, some co-op, which was a lot of fun, but then a lot just solo exploring. And yeah, I love Borderlands 2. And it's funny too, it's the other games I'm not interested in them, but I fell off of tried to go back and replay 1. I liked it, got a good amount into it, and then just didn't finish. 3 I didn't really do a ton of. Never played pre-sequel. And then Tiny Tina's Wonderlands I thought was a lot of fun, but didn't really dive in much past the first 2-3 hours maybe. So yeah, I'm not a tried and true like Borderlands franchise fan, but that second game was really awesome and I loved it.
Yeah, that's the only one I've beaten also.
Oh, really?
It's in your top 5, so you're officially the Borderlands guy of the podcast.
I'm the Borderlands guy. Yeah.
Yep. All right, Tim. Yeah, I didn't mean to saddle you with it. Yeah.
It's official.
So you
that also means that I love them. I love the movie. Yep. That's right. I do love the movie.
Watch the movie. Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, go watch it. Report back. We'll pause. Yeah. We'll stay right here.
I mean, I'll watch. I guess I'll watch it. I don't need to though. I already know that I love it.
I won't. So. I won't watch it. Yeah. There isn't any universe that I would sit down and watch that movie.
I don't think I'll watch it, but I know that it's the best. I already know that. That's
okay. That's fair.
Yeah. Sure.
Who doesn't love Kevin Hart? Come
And then anyway, my my number 4 also has the number 4 in it, and it's Far Cry 4. This one's
Awesome.
an interesting one because if I were to go back and replay a Far Cry game right now, if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick 5 because I really loved it. But 4 is the one that, because for most people it was 3. That was the one that got them into the series. I never played
Yeah.
3 until later, and then I revisited it for a little bit and thought it was cool. But by then 4 was out and was the best. So
I
I
don't
thought
hear
4
people saying
was
4 is their favorite the most. I really like that because it's
Yeah.
it's probably my favorite as well, just because of the setting.
yeah, the setting
Which
is gorgeous.
It's interesting that
Yeah.
you say that. It is always 3 or 5. It seems like
Right.
when
Right.
people choose
I
a
really do
favorite.
like 5. I like the setting there too. Honestly though, like after a while, the settings. Sorry, America. It's a little bland compared to 4. It's just a little. I don't know.
It was my
familiar.
main critique. I was like, how do we go from somewhere exotic to like Nebraska or wherever? it
Yeah,
was?
exactly.
What it
Just,
was, yeah.
just trees.
And
just
it's
all
beautiful.
trees.
Like, yeah,
It
that
is.
area is beautiful,
Yeah.
but like it's not tropical. It's not exotic. you know?
Exactly. Yeah, so 4 of course had a really compelling opening. Like you truly are a nobody in that game, and then you like kind of upend this entire operation. Really great villain by Troy Baker, I'm pretty sure, is the villain in that game, and Pagan
Yep.
Min or whatever his name is.
Yeah, that's right.
But super fun, great open world. They did that open world formula as they always do over at Ubisoft. They did it really well with this game. Very satisfying, fun to hunt, all those things. So I really enjoyed Far Cry 4 a lot. It was one of those games that I was sad when it was over. You know, I was like, man, I finished it. I think we got to play other stuff now. But so yeah, I love that one. All right, Dan, what's your number 3?
Well, it's funny that you both just said all of those things that you said, because my number 3 is Far Cry 3.
Nice.
Oh, great. Awesome.
So for
I
me,
love 3.
Far Cry
3's
3
amazing.
yeah, is the one. And 3
I
is
like
the one
Party
that
Boy. Dude,
what's the villain in that one?
Voss?
Vaughn? No,
It's
Voss.
Voss.
Yeah,
Montenegro? Yeah, Montenegro.
the guy who gives the "Are you insane?" speech.
Yeah, he's got the mohawk. He's got the mohawk. He's all up in your face, like, "Oh, I'm crazy, man. I'm crazy."
Yeah.
It's Nacho from Better Call Saul.
That's
Yes,
right.
it is. Yeah, it is. True.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Good
so
actor.
Far Cry 2 was actually my first one. I had never played the very first Far Cry. 2, it was the first one that I had, and I played like a decent amount of it. And the Africa setting was actually really cool. But I just
That
never
one was
ended up-
pretty hardcore. Like you're taking malaria
It
pills.
was.
And yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think there were just maybe a lot of elements like that kind of like made me eventually kind of be like, all right, I get
It was
what's
more of
going
a
on here.
sim, like what
Yeah.
Stalker and stuff like that would kind of become,
Yeah.
yeah, that's an interesting one. That's a really hardcore game.
Yeah, but Far Cry 3 is like where they kind of perfected it, in my opinion, and there was just a
That's
lot
right.
of like running, and just the bow was really sick. It just felt really good to just
Yeah.
like headshot dudes with the bow in that one. Like, it just, I don't know, there was just something about that particular one that it definitely just like clicked for me. Again, not being the most into first person shooters, but yeah, I really love that, and the setting more tropical. So, which I also enjoyed. I think that's why with 4 it didn't click for me, because in 4 there's a lot of mountains, so you're doing a lot of
Both.
verticality.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You got this
So-
kind of the Himalayan Eastern Asia setting, and they have a wide variety of kind of environments there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think 3 you can just kind of get around like a little more seamless. So I
Yeah,
think
3 is
maybe
more of like
that's
a
also
beach
why I liked-
island setting, isn't it? Isn't it an island?
It's tropical,
Yeah. So.
Well,
but yeah,
I mean,
Far
3
Cry
was the one that created the formula that they would
Yeah,
use for the
that's
next
true.
10 years. So,
Yeah,
like,
it set the foundation.
that's-
Yep.
Yeah, basically. And then the next one I'll go for, because all right, so I'll save my number 1, which might kind of be like cheating, because it's technically like they're 2 games, but they're like super intrinsically tied together. So I'll kind of just save that for the end and whatever.
you pique my
the next
interest
one I'm
enough
gonna-
where we'll allow it. So
Yeah.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
God. The next one, so my number 2, I'll go with the classic, the very first person shooter I ever played. One of the most important first person shooters, the one that you would play with your buddies with some split screen
Yeah.
on your N64, and that's GoldenEye
Yeah.
007.
Duke Nukem 64. Oh,
Duke
sorry.
Nukem. Oh, okay.
Sorry, yeah.
My
Thought I knew where
mommy
you were
wouldn't
going.
Let me play that. My mommy wouldn't let me play that.
They took out the strippers, Dan. I'll tell your mom so she lets you.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
They took the strippers out of the
All right.
64 version. It's okay.
I'll call her after this, and we'll talk. We'll talk.
Let her
to
know.
So
Yeah, let her know.
Yeah, we'll let her know. We'll let her know. But yeah, GoldenEye, dude. Like, I mean, like if you're our age, like we all remember playing that game, playing over a friends, them over our house,
Monumental.
the split screen. Deciding what kind of the match you want to do. I don't know what your preference was. I like doing the remote mines because my friends didn't know how to automatically trigger the remote mines without switching to the watch to trigger them. So if you press A and B at the same time while you're throwing the remote mine, it'll explode immediately.
Yeah.
So just a little fun fact.
A lot of people like the proximity mines and rockets combo too.
Yes.
Yeah, proximity was one of our go-tos.
Slappers only, right? Slappers only.
Slappers only is always fun. Yeah. No odd job, no jaws.
Right.
Not allowed.
No odd job, no jobs, and sometimes no RCP 90.
They're bad people. Oh, RCP 90 is broken. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All golden guns is fun. That's a fun one.
Yeah. It's kind of like hardcore mode, right? It's like one shot, one kill, pretty much.
Yeah. Even if you get shot in the toe.
Yeah, dead.
But yeah, that campaign also super fun. Trying to go through it and play it on the harder difficulties. Like trying to
polygon, Sean Bean,
and trying to do all the extra special stuff in a certain amount of time to get all the cheat codes, where you just had activatable cheat codes from the main menu, which is not a thing we do anymore. It's so weird to me.
And the two bonus
I feel
levels,
Rare,
do all that
the developers at Rare were gamers. Like they put in stuff that they wanted to play with. You know what I mean?
Back when Rare made great games. Remember that when Rare made games? I like Sea of Thieves a lot. They've been making it for a long time. We need.
They're not doing anything else. I don't think.
Yeah, we need to let them work on something else. They are too talented to be.
Take the rum away from that team. Okay, someone needs to get the rum.
Yeah, I like Sea of Thieves too. Just come on, let's release these.
More like Sea of Repetition, right?
Yeah, it's been 7 years. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's a good pick. I like that.
It's a great pick.
All right, Kai, what about you for numbers 3 and then number 2?
I'm going to switch it up. 007 was my next one, but just for the sake of choosing something else and getting another thing out there. Medal of Honor Frontline, the campaign and that, opening on D-Day. It is, everyone just saw Saving Private Ryan, talk about in terms of this one hitting right when it needed to, and I must have played that level dozens of times. I mean, just so many times. And the rest of the game is good too, And then they never made a good Medal of Honor ever again, which is pretty weird.
It's funny. I think that one and the first Call of Duty both did the D-Day beach sequence. The original Call of Duty and that one.
Yeah, I think Call of Duty did a type of it. Yeah, I forget if it was actual Normandy, but I remember there being a beach.
Well, level. It was because that's when I first played Call of Duty, and I was like, "What is this?" That was first time my first Call of Duty game was storming the beach. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Medal of Honor is a great one. Just pour one out for a series that used to be they were the guys. They were the guys it was Medal of Honor versus Call of Duty that. There was competition, and now we barely have Call of Duty versus Battlefield. That's barely a fight. So it was cool to see these two knocking each other around, trying to vie for World War II game supremacy. And this one was hit hard for me because it came to. And it was just a time where it was nice to have the consoles get first-person shooter games because we still weren't all the way there yet. I think that I played this on GameCube, if I'm not mistaken. Weirdly enough.
Oh wow.
Yeah, really, really like that game though. Big fan of Medal of Honor.
Nice. And what about number 2?
Number 2 is the the first Fear game.
Whoa! I never even thought about those.
So good. Slow motion's my jam. Put me in slow-mo. Let me just disintegrate people into giblets, huge fan of the amount of old school gore this game had, and what a great studio and what a great trilogy of games. It just got weirder and more surreal as they went along. But the first one really stuck with me. It was when I built my first PC, I was playing that game all the time, and I was just I'm a real gamer, guys. I'm playing on PC and I'm playing the game, And it was spooky. It was a spooky game too. So
is that series still around? The developer still around?
No, that dev just closed down recently, didn't they? Didn't they get closed down?
I don't remember. Who was it?
Who was it? Do you remember?
I'd have to look it up. I don't know.
Hold on.
Yeah, I guess I haven't heard much about that franchise. I've seen it, listed before you can
Monolith Productions, Monolith. So the people who did Shadows of Mordor and Shadow of
Oh,
War,
okay.
and
They're still around,
yeah.
aren't they, or no?
No, they got closed down like this year.
Oh, they did. Oh, okay. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Bummer.
EA. Or
The
not EA,
WB.
it's
Yeah,
WB,
WB.
yes. Wrong
One of
initials.
Wrong
yeah, one of those
monolithic
initials.
company. Yeah.
All right, that's a good pick. Fear. That's one of those series I didn't even look at as I was looking through all these different first-person shooter franchises. I forgot about that one because I didn't really play it, but I'm aware of it. I just forgot. That's a good call. For me, number 3, we're gonna travel back to the N64 like Dan did, but for me, I'm gonna put at least in the number 3 spot. Doom 64 is on my list for one of my favorite.
Nice.
I almost put Doom SNES, and I wanted to pick between the two, so I looked back at videos of both. And the one that just kind of unlocked the most core memories was by far 64. I think I must have played that one a lot more, or maybe it was just more recent. That one was like whatever 25 years ago, and one was 22 years ago. Like it's probably something like that. But anyway, played a lot of Doom 64. That game looked awesome at that time. In my opinion, it was the best looking Doom before we got to Doom 3 when things really leveled up, as we talked about last week. But this game was a lot of fun, super spooky, and the 64 had kind of, as you mentioned, Dan, it kind of nailed the first person experience compared to outside of PC. There really wasn't a great way to do first person gaming yet because we just had D-pads. Like there really wasn't a great way. Like analog sticks weren't quite a thing yet.
Or just the one analog stick, that's all you have on the N64 is the one. So
correct, but it was something, right? There was some element of
Right.
360 degrees. But I loved that. I thought the design was great. The guns were awesome. The BFG 9000 was awesome, ridiculous weapon that you get in that game. So, yeah, I love Doom 64. So that is my number 3. Little shout out to the Doom franchise there. It was between those two
Nice.
for me personally for Doom. And then number 2 is the one where I first dipped my toes into online multiplayer first-person shooter gaming. This is on the 360, and I ended up spending probably every evening, had to be for close to a year, probably like 9-10 months, probably every night playing Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, the first one. Like when it was still like Call of Duty 1, 2, 3, and then 4 was Modern Warfare. It was a pivot, right? Because 1, 2, and 3 were all World War II. And so then they were like, we're going to do Modern Warfare. And it was unbelievable. It had a great story. The campaign was super compelling, at least for the time. We didn't have anything like it. It was like a blockbuster Michael Bay movie kind of experience. Like, this is really cool. And then you go online and there's a selection of amazing maps and you were leveling up and like prestige and they gave you this like insane progression hook that just absolutely flooded your system with dopamine as you unlocked something.
Absolutely.
Now, of course, now it's even more so. Obviously, they have perfected the system, but that to me was and I know that Call of Duty 2 and 3 were popular online games, but I hadn't really played them yet. So for me, Modern Warfare was that first time of going, oh, what is this? This is something special. This is something new. So I spent a lot of time playing that game. I love it. I do like the remake, like you mentioned, Dan, from 2019. That's a really good game. But that first stab at Modern Warfare will always have that special place in my gaming.
It's iconic
experience.
Yeah. It's very iconic.
Very
Yeah,
iconic.
I remember like the nuke going off in that campagn and just being like, "Where if the stakes are high?"
What is happening?
Well, and it was like it just had like such a cinematic story and stuff like that. Which, like, to be fair, like 2 and World at War had pretty cinematic stories as well. But like this was just like the perfection of that, like that thing that they've been vying for all those years. And boy, what a memorable! I remember like being like Halo's got a lot of like. Remember when Halo was like the biggest first-person shooter in the world?
Yeah.
I remember when that game came out. I literally remember going like, "Oh, Halo's got like real competition now," and they were never competition with Call of Duty. Like they just took over that year and just it's been that way ever since.
1000%, totally agree. So that is my number 2. All right, let's list our top picks for our favorite first-person shooter games. Dan, we'll start with you again.
All right. So, like I mentioned, they are 2 separate games, but they're very important intrinsically. You don't play the second one and not play like that. Just doesn't make sense. And that would be Wolfenstein: The New Order and New Colossus.
Sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those games are insane. they're visually they're fantastic. They took an old franchise that also hadn't been around for a while, right? Because Doom's gone through these ebbs and flows, right? You know, these big windows of time of not existing. I mean, what was the last Wolfenstein game that we had before New Order? Like, I don't even know.
Could have been the
Absolutely no
Castle
idea.
one, Return to like I don't remember.
That
Yeah,
sounds
not
vaguely
not a
familiar.
memorable
Yeah.
one. It sounds like.
It's similar
Yeah.
to the Doom story. I bet you if we went back and looked, if we did a similar retrospective, I bet the story would be kind of similar, like a little burst in the 90s and then a couple of
Yeah.
failed spin-offs
Right.
and then it
I
got
bet
quiet
That's what it
until the
sounds
reboot.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually interesting that there's that kind of correlation there. But yeah, just the story is like super interesting, and you know, this BJ Blazkowicz, he's just this big
Yeah.
meathead looking dude,
Yeah.
but like I don't know, like he is like intriguing, and like the story that he has going on, like what he's got going on there is interesting.
Yep.
And I mean,
It's got a great
you know, the
alternate
game's
history storyline going on, like
yes,
that tells a
Oh, one of the
compelling.
best.
Yeah.
You know, it's just I don't know, it's just it was incredibly compelling, and especially the second one. And then as you get to a certain part of the game, you're like, oh wow, okay, so like this person's here, that they're straight up here, like we're doing this, like this is happening. So they definitely didn't pull any punches. You know, obviously that kind of imagery can be very like jarring for people to be like, whoa, like let's not do that. It's like, nah, like fuck Nazis, they're terrible, destroy them, get rid of them.
Yeah.
They're all terrible. So it's just really,
Dude, you're making me
like
want
you
to
said,
play that
alternate-
game again now that you're just talking about it. I'm like, dude, I want to play Wolfenstein again. Those
Dude,
games
it's-
are awesome.
especially the second one. I mean, the first one, the New Order is not like ugly by any means, but I remember New Colossus. Like, there's just moments where there's just all sorts of mayhem going on the screen, and it was like this
Gorgeous
is gorgeous. This is a gorgeous
Yeah.
game.
I think it's a major step up from the first one.
do
They
too,
really put a lot of money into that game. Like you could tell.
Yeah,
and the
New
audacity
Order's
they
like
had.
New Order made you sit up, but then like the new Colossus
Yeah.
made you stand up, kind of a thing.
Like,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
Like, oh.
yeah.
And it did all
Got me
the
out of
cool
my
story
seat.
stuff with all the characters, like at the HQ, and like there was just a lot of
Yeah,
really
you
cool
go to
stuff
that like
game was
that
doing.
hub ship thing that you have. I kind of
Yeah.
forgot about that. And you
Yeah,
got
yeah.
all your posse
It's like
there.
missions
Yeah.
there, and there's like stuff.
Yeah, you got to
do.
take some side
Cool.
missions that are optional but really interesting, some character-based ones, and then of course you had all the upgrades that you get. Man, what a good game! A lot of stealth options if you wanted, but you
Yeah.
don't have to use stealth.
Yeah. Yeah, great games. Great games.
Yeah, good call out on those. Those are good ones. All right, Kyle, what's your top pick?
It's really basic, bro, and I can't believe it is what it is, but it's the first Halo for me.
Okay.
That's number one.
Basic, bro.
It's so basic. Ooh, Halo.
Hey.
Ooh, okay. I'm not even the biggest Halo fan in the entire world, but it is my favorite campaign for a shooter. I must have gone through that game dozens of times with friends on every difficulty, all the way up to legendary, and just going for it and just being mad every time we had to play the library, but happy mad, because that's, who doesn't like killing the Flood, even though those levels are insanely paced on legendary. But yeah, Halo is just awesome. Some of the best music around, some of the best multiplayer at that time. I remember like rigging up Xboxes through like GameSpy, I think it was, like just to get online with people to play matches, like Xbox Live, like matches and stuff like that, like at a friend's house, landing it up every single weekend. Lots and lots and lots of great memories with the original Halo. And
dude, I forgot
there being
about GameSpy.
moments where you walk up. Yeah, GameSpy guys, remember? Every kid who's not over 30 has no idea what we're talking about. But yeah, kids back in the day, you just didn't play games with your friends, it just wasn't a thing.
No,
true.
Not online, at least. But anyways, yeah, great story, great music. I remember walking up to like a tree for the first time, like you could see bark, like there's bark on this tree, like individual bark patterns.
It's never gonna get better than this.
Look at these blades of grass. When you go back, it's so flat and not textured at all. But like at the time, it was really something special. And I just remember, and again, just remember being like, I didn't think we were supposed to be playing these types of games on console. Like I thought this was a PC thing. Like first-person shooters were just. They existed, but like they just didn't take off until around this time. GoldenEye being kind of like the stepping stones for something like this to like really take hold of the gaming culture into the mainstream. And a system seller, at the time, like it was the thing you bought an Xbox for, kind of the only thing you bought it for. No one was like playing, Blanks or whatever. Like people were buying it for Halo. So, anyways, yeah, that's my number one. Yes, it's basic, bro. I don't care. It's good. It's good.
Deal with it. Yeah, deal with it.
Deal with it.
Those are all good picks. There's really no wrong picks here except for, well, yeah, there are. None of ours are wrong. But there's so many good ones. And after we're done with our list, there's a lot of honorable mentions that none of us have mentioned yet that and I'm sure you guys have the same thing. Like we'll just take turns calling out games that we also loved that are somewhat in this genre. But for me, my number one, and it's already been talked about, but I don't care because whenever I think of first person shooter, it's the one I always think of. It was my first, okay? You don't forget your first love, and that was GoldenEye 007. And so that was my first one. That was the first time that I played a campaign in a first person perspective. Like the guns you picked up all felt right and different. Of course, now it doesn't. I understand. You go back now and play it, and it's garbage. I totally get it. But late 90s Tim, this was the game. Like there was nothing else like it. And I'm just like you were saying, Dan, getting together with an N64 and hooking up all 4 controllers, or maybe even trying to daisy chain multiple systems together, but certainly with all 4, with the screen split up in those 4 sections and playing proximity mines and rockets, or just silencers, or just free for all, play whatever you want. Like it was so fun. I just loved that game. Beat the campaign probably like 10 times because it wasn't super long either. But so and you could break the game too, like the AI of the enemies coming at you. You could get them all to like gather in one little dumb hallway or something, and then like throw a mine in there with them.
Obviously, compared to now, they're like significantly slower than anything we experience nowadays. Like
exactly, but just to me at that time, like it looked just like Pierce Brosnan as far as I was concerned. It looked just like
it still does. Don't check the tape.
Don't check it. That's right.
100%.
And then who's that actor? He played Nightcrawler, but he's in there as Boris or something like that.
Yeah,
he's in
I'm Invincible. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he's a great actor. I think he's actually mostly a Broadway actor, but he's a really good actor. Even his character's in there, and I'm like, looks just like him, identical.
Yep.
Polygon looks just like him.
Sean
glasses,
Sean
all there.
That's right.
That's
right. And Sean Bean is in there.
Too.
That's right. Sean Bean's right there. Looks just like him. So I love GoldenEye 007. It'll always hold a special place in my heart. I will not go back and play it in any way, shape, or form, just because I don't want to ruin that. Like I don't need to. Like I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, I can have that as a good memory and not need to go back and ruin it for myself. I don't need to do that. So I loved all the maps, all the weapons. To me, it was like gaming perfection, even though many games have improved that formula since. But to me, that was, at least on a console, that was like a foundation of what many games after it did. There were other games that set a different foundation and different elements, but that to me was like at least the multiplayer foundation of how you do a really good multiplayer game. It was the one to knock down
for sure. Like, I think Halo based a lot of its philosophy off of like GoldenEye, to be honest.
I think so.
The level-based
idea
campaign.
of like, people want to sit on the couch and play like split screen together like this. Like, okay. Like even that concept. Totally agree. So I love it. But what are some ones that we didn't mention? And we'll just take turns mention. Maybe just doesn't really matter. Like one at a time, or maybe 2 at a time if you want. Games that would be somewhere on the honorable mention list that you enjoyed but didn't quite make your top 5. So Dan, do you have any others that jump out at you?
I'll start with this one because this might most likely not be on you guys' list, but I never played the campaign, although I heard it was excellent. I mainly played the multiplayer. Titanfall 2. But that game mechanically was excellent. Yeah, that's what I always heard. But
one of my favorite online shooters ever. I was playing it for like years after it came
Campaign
out.
still holds up. Fun. It should be on sale for like $2-3 at various sales. I highly recommend a campaignn playthrough. It's really fun.
Optimus Prime voices the main robot. I don't need to say anymore.
Oh, really?
Just go there.
Done.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know that.
It's not a super long campaign, but it's very good.
It's like 4 hours, 3 hours. Yeah, it's pretty short, but it's very good.
It's a pretty quick jaunt, but it's totally worth it, especially when you get it for so cheap. It's been on super crazy sale and free many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good call out. I had Titanfall 2 on my honorable mention list too. Kyle, what about you? What's a game that jumps out at you from your honorable mention list?
I always say that Battlefield has bad story games, but the Bad Company campaigns are very good. And Bad Company 2 had a very good story, very good campaign.
I've always heard good things. Never played that one though.
Yeah, Bad Company's great. A lot of humor. It gets real. Like it was a good series that like for whatever reason they were like, this is doing well. Let's never do these again. So good job, DICE.
Yeah.
You did great. You always take the right thing, and you
I think
the ball
EA was like, let's do exactly what Call of Duty's doing, and it's like, no, do your thing. Your thing was good.
Yeah. And Bad Company was a little more like console based, like it was a little smaller scale than like the 64 players that you could get like on the 360 at the time. And I don't think that came into like PS4,
Yeah.
era. Those are good games.
Agreed. One that I added to my honorable mention list is Metroid Prime, and the one I picked because I like all three of them. I went with Corruption. It's the Wii one that doesn't usually get as much love. Usually people talk, glowingly about the original, and the original is great. The remaster is amazing. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. A lot of people list that as like, again, the sequel thing where they improve and everything. Totally agree. Echoes is great. Those are both on GameCube and they were great. But Corruption, I thought was kind of like peak Wii controls, at least when it comes to aiming, like pointing and aiming. It just controlled so well. Maybe by today's standards, we would try it and be like, yeah, it's not that responsive. Like, okay, fair enough. But at the time, that was the best like aim at the screen. It was so quick. It was the closest thing to using a keyboard and mouse, in my opinion, on a console because you could quickly move and aim and lock on, and it was so cool. And the story was great. The puzzles and the environments were really brilliant. That game, I know a lot of people love it, so I'm not pretending like people hate it, but it just doesn't get a lot of attention in my mind, just in my what I've seen from my perspective. And I've always been like, man,
Yeah.
that game was just brilliant. Had it had a different label on it or been on a different system, like if that had been a PlayStation or Xbox or even PC game, I bet you it would have been a much bigger hit and much more beloved than it is. So,
Well, it gets the waggle snub probably, right? People who
Probably.
just automatically are like, I don't want absolutely nothing to do with waggle. They probably just like, I don't want to.
and it might have had some like wiggle the controller moments, but most of it was you're literally pointing, and it was like a 1-to-1 ratio of your reticle.
That's like what you would want. The most out of motion control is just like a light gunny type game.
Yeah,
very light gunny, exactly. Yeah, man, I loved that game. So, yeah. Anything else on yours, Dan, on your honorable mention list?
BioShock.
Nice. Yeah.
One of the most important, very
The original one?
story driven first person. Yeah. That opening is incredibly iconic. You're just out in the sea, like, what's going on, man? And then you go to that building, and then all of a sudden you're just getting freaking brought down into the depths of the ocean. You're like, holy shit, there's like a city down here.
That
Like, what the hell's
elevator
going on?
ride
Like,
down was so crazy. Yeah.
yeah. Just like, what is going on down here, and why do I want to go down there? Because the idea of a city underwater, it sounds horrifying. Like, just I in real life want nothing to do with that, but for some reason in this video game, I'm like, yeah, I want to go down there.
Yeah,
See
let's
what the
do
hell's
it.
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
So yeah, that's incredibly iconic one too.
What about you, Kyle?
I feel like we have to at least bring up Half-Life 2, even though I think that it's not really my jam. A little too smart of a shooter for me. But very, very, very iconic. Great voice acting, great story, like great everything, great physics. I remember when Half-Life 2 came out, people were just like, "I know these are real. Like someone made real physics in a video game."
Real.
Iconic video game, so great. Don't let my dumbness hold it back. It is everything that everybody says it is. I feel like it has to get brought up. I mean, it's definitely a classic.
All right, well, I'll fast forward through a few of these because they've already been mentioned. We've talked the Far Cry games. I put Primal on my honorable mention list because that one in particular was just one of my favorites. I know it's a Swimming in Sevens game, but the setting just clicked for me. I loved the kind of old school weaponry with the spears and the bows. I just thought it worked really, really well. I just loved Far Cry Primal and the pet taming and all that. And then of the Halo games, Halo 3 was my main game of those. That's when I spent a ton of time playing Halo 3. That was my Xbox 360 days. Wolfenstein, I have that on there too. Titanfall 2. I'll give one more N64 shout out because I remember playing this when I was homesick. I had a horrible fever, so I was barely conscious, but I had to keep playing Turok Dinosaur Hunter. I just played it so much back on the N64.
So good. I played all of those. I love those games.
Yeah.
I loved going to whatever store it was that had a kiosk of it. It would just be on there. I'd be waiting for the kid to finish. I'd be like, "Come on, kid! This kid freaking hurry up and finish!" Because my mom is shopping, and it's like I want to play some Turok. Like,
yeah. It had this weird mix of like prehistoric with some modern. The weaponry was just insane. Like it got crazy fast, and I loved it for it. So I loved Turok. And then Perfect Dark is in that same boat where, admittedly a better game than GoldenEye. it improves on all the systems. I just liked the James Bond setting and characters. That was more iconic to me.
If we
But
do it
Perfect
all over
Dark-
again, this makes my list. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
just blanked on Perfect Dark. I don't know why.
Yeah,
It's such
Perfect
a
Dark
great
was
game. We're talking about the sequel,
and-
right? On Xbox 360? That's the one we're talking about?
I'm not. You're wrong.
Wait, whoa, what are you talking about? Yeah,
And you're horrible.
The only good Perfect Dark is the sequel, and we
Oh my
all
gosh.
agree with that. Yeah.
Hang on, where's the hang up on Kyle button?
Oh jeez. And goodbye.
No, but yeah, Perfect Dark for the 64. I mean, not only could you do all the stuff you could do in GoldenEye in terms of the multiplayer, the story was pretty fun too. A fun like sci-fi government
You could go through
conspiracy
that co-op
story.
all the way through co-op.
And the
It's
co-op,
crazy
yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. But then the multiplayer, it had all these cool maps and all the standard things, but then you could customize everything. Like they gave you tools to do what you wanted and set up your own multiplayer stuff. And it was awesome. I remember you could create crazy matches.
You can also customize the AI's like personality. So it's
That's
like
right.
one would be like a turtle personality, and it like collects all the shields like by pickup, and it has all shields all the time. One's aggressive. One you could put a pacifist one on who just kind of runs around and doesn't shoot anybody.
Yeah.
Like there's like 30 different like AI options.
Almost like they
for
unlocked
that.
the code, and you could like just you put in your little mods on it. Almost.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like
Yeah.
as you're
You just
playing.
kind
It
of
was very
you choose
cool.
little sliders or little.
Yeah, super fun. So those are some I wanted to shout out as honorable mentions. Feel free, either one of you, if you got any other ones that we haven't talked about, just rattle them off. Go for it.
That's it.
I mean, Fallout 3, which I mean, I guess is like, well, there's more RPG in there than a lot of these other ones that we've mentioned, but I mean, it is technically you're running around with a gun, you are shooting things. I mean, you're mostly using the VAT system because the shooting mechanics suck, but
I would say it's like 60% VATS and 40% talking because you're probably not shooting like actually a lot in that game,
right? But you can
because it is
but
really
you,
bad.
but you can.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it needs a remaster.
Yeah.
We need an Oblivion treatment on that one,
dude. We absolutely. I hope that is so real. I hope it's so real. I would love that.
Any others for you, Kyle?
That Fallout's a great choice. Yeah, there's that's a good one. No, I don't have any others.
We've named most franchises. None of us are really Quake players or anything like. There's Counter-Strike, you know. So
I was a big Counter-Strike
player,
but like I kind of with my list I went a little more like what's campaign and like has both like like that is like Call of Duty. I'm sorry, Call of Duty. Counter-Strike is just strictly like online, which is great, and I have so many memories of playing that game. But you know, for a full package, I wanted to make a list with kind of both.
Yeah, two that don't technically meet the definition, but I started by writing them down just because they're two of like if I were to make an all-time favorite first-person perspective list, they'd definitely be on there. But they're not technically shooters. So like Neon White is up there for me because you do some powers that are kind of like shooting, but it's not. It's more It's a platformer. It's a first-person platformer with some attacks. But it's brilliant. Such a good game. And then Portal 2, where you're not really shooting a gun, but you're shooting portals, and it's very puzzle based and again platformy. But in my opinion, like it's one of those. There's a lot of games like this that kind of meet that criteria of for everything it's trying to do, it's essentially a perfect game. Like there's not many holes you can poke in it for what it's trying to accomplish. It accomplishes it brilliantly. So yeah, there's a bunch of games like that too that we tried to keep it real focused though. That's why I left those off the official first-person shooter list. Well, what about Metacritic? What does it have to say? I tried OpenCritic, but its reviews don't go back far enough to give us a good list. And so I went with Metacritic. And so I just pulled together a list of everything that's 90 and above. So I'll work my way up from 90, and I'll just read through these really quickly. But interrupt me if there's one that you're like, oh, that game, because there's some here that I've never heard of, or never played, I should say. I've heard of all of them, I think. Anyway, the ones that have 90, there's 3 games with a 90. There's the original Portal, which is hilarious and awesome, but it feels more like a demo. The Portal 2 feels like a real full game, like really truly built out game. Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, which we talked about, and Time Splitters 2. I never played Time Splitters.
Oh, dude, I forgot about that one. Yeah,
Time Splitters was great. Yeah, I didn't like grow up with that one, so like when I went back and played it, it was like old, you know. So I missed the boat on that one, but I remember like everyone being like pretty into this game.
Yep. At 91, there's one I cannot remember this game for the life of me. It's called The Operative No One Lives Forever. You guys remember that game? was
Sounds vaguely familiar, but I couldn't.
It
Maybe
was
it's
released right
behind
around
the-
2000, 2001. It was a mainly PC. I think it came on PS2, but apparently it was not a good port. So PC was the place that got the good reviews.
Oh, this looks
The
very
operative
familiar. It's very like it's
kind of
very
70s.
70s, like
Yeah.
espionage.
Oh
type,
yeah,
but yeah.
okay, I do remember. I worked at a GameStop, so all the boxes for games are seared into my brain. So
Yeah.
Dude, all the PC boxes. When you mentioned
Yeah.
Medal of Honor Frontline, that was one that I stood in various electronics boutique and GameStop stores looking at the PC game box of that, like, oof, do I get this? I don't know, it's full price, but it looks so good. You know, like I remember
Mhm.
almost getting that Medal of Honor. No, it wasn't Frontline. I think it was Pacific Assault. Anyway, it was one of those games on that Medal of Honor games. All right, another one that's got a 91 is Killzone 2, which we kind of referenced a little bit earlier. That had a 91. And then the OG Call of Duty, the first Call of Duty game, which was like the year 2000-ish, 2001 maybe. So those all have 91. And then a few others that have 91 would be Halo Reach. The Halo series, by the
Right.
way, very well represented in this list of games with 90 and above. There's a lot of Halo
Yeah.
entries that scored
Reach
very, very
rocks.
well. Yeah, Halo Reach. A lot of people, that's their favorite Halo, I've heard.
It might be
when
mine
they talk about the Halo
depending on what
series.
day you ask me. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but love for that game. Then we've got Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, which I have a little bit of a qualm with because it's only first person for like a little bit, and then you
Mhm.
become crazy Jedi Master, which is awesome.
Sure.
Yeah. I guess that game is kind of more doomy though than like Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy.
Yeah,
Like
you're
the
right.
original Dark Forces, yeah.
You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
But I still have a qualm too. I'm with Tim on this one.
Just a slight one. It's fine. I love that
Yeah.
game though, so I'm cool with it being on any kind of
Yeah.
like top list. That's fine. And then we had Medal of Honor Allied Assault. You mentioned Medal of Honor earlier. That was another entry in that series. That got a 91. And then here was the game that everyone used as their benchmark for a PC. That's Crisis. Got a 91.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
always the question. Can it play Crisis though? Like that was always
That's
the
right.
that was always the thing.
That was always the question.
And then at the 92 tier, we got two games. The original Medal of Honor. I remember playing that on the PS1 way back in the day for a little bit. And then Metroid Prime 2 Echoes for the GameCube. Also got a 92. Medal of Honor and Metroid Prime 2. With 93s, we've got Quake 3 Arena and Unreal Tournament, which, again, I know that a lot of multiplayer first-person shooter gamers love those games. And then we also have Half-Life Alyx. That's the highest ranked kind of like recent game that's on this list.
Yeah.
The VR Half-Life game.
That's definitely
Has a
one of
93.
those specifically for VR that I'm like, I kind of really want to play. Like, I want to play that.
It's still
because I've
it's
heard
still the
excellent
best
things.
thing VR has done, apparently.
Yeah.
So it's like
That's
all
what
these
I've
years
heard.
later. Yeah. And
Yeah.
no one's figured
Absolutely.
it out. Yeah.
Absolutely. A bunch of games got 94s. We've got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the sequel to their mega breakout that was Call of Duty 4, and then they decided to stop giving numbers after the Call of Duty and just start doing this was the beginning of subtitles for all Call of Duty games where those started getting numbered.
So it's this game's fault. Okay.
It's
great.
this game's fault, really. Yeah, the success
Blame
of Call of Duty
everything.
4 Modern Warfare, which is also in this 94 ranking. Both of these got 94s. That success just totally ended the numbered Call of Duty entries, which is interesting. There hasn't been a Call of Duty 5. It'd be funny though if they did announce that, right? Call of Duty 5.
Would be wild. Yeah.
I'd be on board.
Well,
I'd be
I mean,
like, sweet.
Yeah. Why
Black
not?
Ops is up to 6, right? So
Yeah, Black Ops
I mean,
is 6. Modern Warfare
What if it was
should be
Call of
also
Duty
up to
5
like
Black
6.
Ops 7? What if that was the name?
Just to really mess with
Jesus.
everybody.
It's
Yeah,
like, what?
yeah.
This is awful.
Huh? Also with a 94 is Halo 3. That was my favorite Halo. I love that game. As well as BioShock Infinite. Hey, everybody listening. BioShock
Yeah.
Infinite, really good game. I'm sorry that it
That's
makes
my
you angry.
favorite. That's my
But
favorite
it's-
Bioshock. So
Mine too, man. So
Yeah.
good. So good. And then Quake also has a 94. All right, and then we get up into the 95s. There's only two games represented here. We got Halo 2, probably one of the most anticipated sequels. I remember there being like lines and news and celebrities, and like the Halo 2 launch was a cultural event. One of the biggest cultural events around
Yeah.
video games, outside of stuff like Grand Theft Auto. Like it was huge, the Halo 2 launch. And then also Portal 2 has a 95 average on Metacritic. Also, two excellent games. Now, I played Halo 2 way later, but I still really, really liked it. I like what it did a lot. All right, and then at 96, GoldenEye 007. Of course, this was scores
Yeah.
from when it released, so very well deserved. Okay, I'm not saying it deserves a 96 now if you grade it on our scale now, but that's not fair to do that to any game, really.
Yeah.
So that's like going back to grade Pitfall on its platforming. You know what I mean? Like it was
Right,
the first one.
I
Cut it
don't
a
know,
break.
something about it just feels stiff, you know. It's like, well,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's
It's
like
a little
two,
floaty.
You
Yeah.
gotta loosen
like
up
two
them
pixels,
physics
yeah.
there.
Like,
Also, the 96 is the original Bioshock, as Dan described earlier. Just an eye-popping, such a unique game. What an experience! And then also
Yeah.
Half-Life 1 and 2, which Kyle referenced, the Half-Life games. So those are both at 96. All right, and then tied at 97, at least according to Metacritic, as the top three, Halo Combat Evolved, the first Metroid Prime game, and Perfect Dark,
Perfect
all with
Dark.
97s.
Did it, guys.
Wow.
Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, as I'm going through that list, I'm like, those are all so good. And yeah, sure, that there's series and games on there that I would put that I wish would be scored higher because I love them personally, but I have no qualms with the games that are like. There's a lot of really
Yeah.
amazing, timeless games on this list. So, and I've said before, like first person is not usually my perspective of choice in most games these
Mhm.
days, but I've circled back around on it a little bit. I am absolutely loving Doom: The Dark Ages. I loved Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 this year. A little while back playing Far Cry 6. I really enjoyed that. And so like there's certainly first person games that I have a blast playing. Black Ops 6 came out last fall. I really enjoyed that game a lot. So yeah, I have no qualm with it. It's just more of not my preference usually, but I say it and then I end
Yeah.
up really loving most of the ones that I play. So maybe I'm wrong about me, you know? Anyway, all right, why don't we do this? Why don't we pivot and do a couple of rounds of 20 questions to wrap up this episode before we talk about things that we're playing. If you're ready for it, if you've got the game picked out, Dan will have you go first, and then Kyle and I will try to keep track here so you don't have to. You can just focus on answering the questions. I'll keep track of the number of questions we're doing here.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I had like the pen and paper ready, but
Oh, if you've got
appreciate
it, then you go ahead. Yeah, it's easier. If you
Okay,
do
yeah,
it
yeah.
too.
No, I don't. Yeah, I was just gonna notch.
I will
it down
not
in the
be
notebook.
no Googling, no typing, no searching. My phone is plugged in and to the side. All right. Dan has a game for us, right?
I do.
You're supposed to say something magical to make it start.
Yeah, man, you gotta kick us off.
May the odds be in your favor.
Ooh.
I'm out.
Dude.
I'm out. Okay.
My wife and kids would so approve of that. They are wild Hunger Games fans. They love those books so much. Okay.
Well, just so you know, if you guys don't guess it, I get to kill you. So
Oh, good
like
to
much
know.
in
Hunger
like
Game
in Hunger
rules.
Games,
Wow.
just like in the Hunger
Yeah.
Games. Yeah. So
So
yeah.
Kyle, do we do kind of the classic like did this come out in the 2000s type thing?
Yeah, I think that's
All right.
safe. You know?
Dan, did this come out in the 2000s?
Yes.
Do you want to split that in half, Kyle, or do you want to do something?
Yeah, let's
take a
split the
different
difference.
route?
Yeah, did this come out after 2010?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. It's probably helpful to get platform.
Yeah.
I mean, we could just start asking platform by
Yeah,
platform.
is this
What do you
a
think?
console exclusive or is this an exclusive to a platform?
No.
Okay, so multi-platform. Okay.
Okay. Is this game available to play on the Nintendo Switch?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's on multiple platforms. You can play it on the Switch. Came out after 2010. Okay, let's see.
Genre maybe, or no, we can still work on console. Like what consoles were out 2010? Is that Xbox 360, PS3 era?
Yeah, everything from Xbox, PS3, Wii on. So like anything.
Yeah. And
But
then
it is
anything
also
after
on
that,
the
yeah.
Switch. Yeah. So we could
Yeah.
either do another time slice and say like 2018 or 2020 or something like that, or take another stab at another console.
Let's narrow down the date more. I think that's good. You want to say like
All right.
come out? Did this come out after 2018? Does that sound good?
Mhm.
Okay. Did this come out after 2018?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So new
So it's a
ish
recent
new.
game. Yeah.
Should we
Yeah,
ask
yeah,
if it's
okay.
part of a ongoing series?
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, ask that.
Is this part of an ongoing series? Let me rephrase that. Is this a game with multiple entries, and is this a franchise game?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Ongoing series is kind of loaded. Yeah, it's like I don't know. Are they
Yeah,
still
that's why I
making a
was like,
game right
well,
now? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, we could
Okay.
ask like what country it's developed in. Does that help? Sometimes that can help trim it down a bit.
Yeah.
Or we could ask like game mechanics, like whether it's
Is it?
perspective, maybe.
I like all these things. We can burn some of these questions. Maybe we do perspective first, and
We
maybe
could
ask
ask.
if it's
How
like
about
a
we ask if we can see your character? If you can see the character you're
yeah.
controlling. All right, Dan, can you see the character you're controlling?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe
We're at
genre.
7, by the way, so you still have plenty.
He's an
7,
RPG
okay.
guy. Should we just ask if it's an RPG game?
Do you want to lump them? I do like that strategy of lumping. Like, is this either an RPG,
I like
puzzle,
lumping. Yeah.
or
I like lumping.
Yeah.
something?
We could do like RPG action or.
But I mean, when you're lumping too, right? Then you're adding more possibilities instead of less possibilities, right?
No, because
Well,
if we
we're
ask if
saying
it's one,
or.
if we're asked if it's 3 things, and you say yes to one of those 3 things, now we've narrowed it down to those 3
Yeah, it's
things.
like
And
guess
that's
who. You get
1,000.
to like knock down most of the little
Okay.
faces.
Okay.
But so we're gonna say or. So we're gonna say, is this an RPG or action or what's it? Let's do a third one. Puzzle? No, not puzzle.
Puzzle. Platformer.
Platformer. Is this an
Yeah.
RPG or action or platformer?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Should
one
we
of
narrow
those.
it
That's
down
good.
further? Yeah.
Yeah,
Should we
he
just
is an
ask if it's an
RPG
RPG?
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Gotta play to the dealer sometimes. This is an RPG.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
We got ourselves a role-playing
Yep.
game, folks, and it is on the Switch, and it came out
After 2018.
after 2018. You know,
On the Switch.
I have a feeling it's near Automata. I just got this epiphany. I just pictured it all of a sudden in my head because that came out in like 2018, 2019, I think. And it's on the Switch. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Wouldn't that be more of
it's
an
on the Switch.
action-y game though, not an RPG? I mean, it's got RPG stuff, but like, isn't it an action game?
But he didn't say it's not an action game. He said it's one of those. He said yes to those, and
It's
he said
true.
yes to
Yeah.
RPG.
It's true.
All right, but what else could it be? Let's start thinking through. Like, how do you want to narrow it down? We could ask. It's
Oh,
almost
gosh.
certainly developed in Japan. It's a Dan game.
Yeah, for sure. I think we can assume that. Part of a series came out on the Switch.
We could ask if you
after
shoot.
2018.
Does the weapon type help?
Yeah.
You think?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Do you shoot guns in this game?
You can look it up.
Hold on.
You're allowed to look it up.
Yeah, you're allowed to have it open. Yeah. Let
Yeah,
me
I'm
just
just
see if I
trying
can see
to
the
think.
reflection in your glasses.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It is near. Dang, he's
Then I
looking at
can't
pictures
see.
of 2B right now. Yeah.
Well, that's for a different. That's a different
Um,
window he's searching.
Oh
over there.
shit! I'm sorry.
yeah.
Hold on. So sorry. Could you ask the question again? Like exactly.
Dan or Kyle, do we want to say, do you shoot or do you shoot guns?
Let's see. Do you
What's
shoot
better?
guns?
Yeah, do you shoot guns in this game? The research behind this is really making me start to think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's I mean, again, you guys already asked about the genre.
If you want,
so
we
I'm
can
just
ask something different. That actually it's still helpful to us, but we don't waste the question. You can just say I can't answer
Yeah,
that.
that's true. Yeah, it's ambiguous. Yeah.
Yeah, I just because I was gonna hold on. I just gotta do one little Google search here.
Yeah.
Now I'm wondering what that could mean.
What does that mean? Yeah.
Is there
You
something
just-
that looks
Okay,
gun-like?
so you asked about
Yeah.
guns specifically, right?
Yeah. Do you
Yeah,
shoot
we did.
No.
guns?
No.
No.
Okay, the answer is no. Okay.
Okay.
So no guns. Okay, so you can see your character. It is out on the Switch. Came out after 2018. You don't shoot guns.
Part of a
But the
series.
fact that he had to look it up tells me there's some kind of could be some kind of projectile, but you're certainly fighting things. Otherwise,
Don't
he would
forget
have said no
the
right away.
genre. You guys asked about genre too.
RPG.
Yeah, it's an RPG. Do we go with Is it turn-based?
Yeah.
Are the
Well, how many turn-based games came out in 2018 after 2018 that are on the Switch? I guess a lot.
that are multi-platform,
Should
right?
we ask Dev? I think that might help. I think Dev. We think it's Japanese. We know
Okay.
it's an RPG. Do we ask Square so we can like narrow it down?
It's not a bad idea.
Because like now
Um,
I'm thinking like maybe like is it Octopath
we could ask
Traveler?
Japanese. That way, it includes things like like Atlas for if it's a Persona game. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so we could ask if it's a Japanese developed game.
Yeah.
But that might
Let's
not.
do
That, I don't. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah. Is this a Japanese developed game?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it's got to be Square, right? It's got. I mean,
Gotta be
it's.
Square. Yeah. I mean, is
I mean,
it?
sometimes-
Are we not thinking about it clear enough? And is it just a Final Fantasy game?
Sometimes stereotypes are there for a reason,
I just
right?
feel
It's
like we
band
have to feel it,
stereotype.
man. Yeah. I'm just gonna ask it. Is this part of the Final Fantasy series? Was that worth burning?
It's worth it.
Genuine. No.
Okay.
Okay.
That knocks off a lot. I'm thinking it's Octopath. I think it's one of those. I think it's Octopath 1 or 2.
Oh yeah, I don't because
like,
that's a
you
good
wouldn't
question
know
to look up. Do
immediately-
you shoot
You wouldn't-
guns?
Yeah, you wouldn't know immediately, and maybe you shoot bow and arrows. Maybe one of the characters does. I don't know.
Should we
Now I remember all. Like, I just
should we ask if you can if it's pixel art?
yes.
All right,
Yeah.
Dan, is this a pixel art game?
Yes.
Okay. And the reason he hesitated earlier on ongoing franchise is that there's two of them, but that's not necessarily
Yeah.
mean there's going to be a yeah.
Is there a
so,
third one involvement? I don't know.
I'm not sure. Okay, how many questions are we at?
You're at 13.
Okay, so we can
We got plenty. Let's burn.
we
Like,
can make
you control 8 characters in this game.
yeah. We could ask. Okay, yeah. Let's ask if there's 8 unique like main character storylines, right?
Yeah.
Are there 8 unique main character storylines in this game?
Yes.
Is this a
Is
sequel?
this there you go. Yeah.
Yes.
Is this
Go ahead,
Octopath
Kyle.
Traveler 2?
Yes.
Boom, we got it.
Oh.
We got it. How many questions did that take?
Man,
Knock
what a
those
cliche
doors
I am,
down.
huh?
What a cliche.
You
How
didn't
many-
go Final Fantasy, so that's
Is that 16?
I should have thrown a complete curveball at you and led you guys down this path of shenanigans. So that was asking the is it Octopath 2 was the 16th question. So.
16. All right, that's pretty good.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
pretty good.
All right, Kyle, it's on to you. You are game master now. You can have your game pulled up and ready to go.
Yeah, let me do that. That's a great idea.
Every once in a while,
okay.
and it's only once every like 10, 15 minutes, but your audio is paused real quick, but then it comes back and catches up. It's just
I
but it's-
asked in the chat like way earlier. I was like, "Hey guys, I'm hitching really bad. If it's noticeable, let me know." So. Yeah,
I didn't. Sorry, I didn't look at the chat. My bad.
No, it's
Um,
okay. Yeah,
It hasn't
I'm
happened a
definitely
ton,
seeing it on my-
and okay, it hasn't happened a ton, but it's happened a
'cause
couple of times.
Yeah, you like freeze for like a second and then you come back. So
y'all do the same.
I'll continue to
for me. I don't know
blame
what's
this.
going on.
I'll continue to blame this
Every
Windows
time I
platform
use
until
this
it stops.
thing, I don't know how to like my internet doesn't act right with this platform that we use.
I'm gonna keep blaming this platform.
I was just playing co-op earlier with a friend. Never hitched, never did anything.
No
seconds
problems.
before we got on, so I don't know what's going on.
I do think it's very taxing on a lot of systems, and so
Mm.
your system could just be getting hot trying to run it, like for real. So it could be taxing. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so Kyle, you are master of ceremonies for this round of 20 questions. You have your game ready?
I do. Yep.
do you want me
Alright.
to keep track still? I don't mind.
If you don't mind, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Kyle, why don't you kick us off with whatever let the games begin you want to hit us with?
This is Battle Royale.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
So
Good.
now we're also in danger. So
That's right.
Hey, your neck will explode if y'all
right.
don't answer right or something.
Just
Alright, so
specifically
Dan-
your necks.
Yeah.
Dan, how do you like to kick it off? Do you like to start with the year, kind of splitting it
Yeah.
into closer? Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Should we
always- I
say?
feel
Should we
like
do
that's
it
always
more
good.
like instead of after 2000? Should we do it more like because the game probably wasn't made before the 90s, but maybe. Should we do like 2010 to kick it off?
So you're saying like January 1st, 2010 and after?
Yeah, because that's 15
Okay.
years. That's still a lot, but
Right.
and then before that would be like a 90s or 2000s game, or we could do 2005 or something like that. But to me, there's like
But you also, I was gonna say, also take into consideration when you're dividing things like when consoles were, because then like a lot of overlap's gonna add more options
yeah.
too. So
yeah, you could do like let's do like January 1st, 2007. I think that's when like the Wii and the 360 and PS3 were out, right?
okay,
Roughly. Want to do that? Let's do that.
sure.
All right. Kyle, did this game come out after January 1st of 2007?
Yes.
Okay. So it's within the last 18 years.
Okay, we can go further. Like keep pushing that goalpost down of the
Yeah, we could. We
window
can't
of
like
time.
the 20. We want to do 2018?
One-
Did that work?
was so. What did we just did 20? What was it?
2007. So we've got it. So we can
2007.
go back. We can go back 9 years. We could say 2016. That'd
Okay.
be split down the middle. Did this come out after January 1st, 2016?
No.
All right, we got ourselves a window, Dan. We got ourselves a window from 2007 through the end of 2015, technically.
Okay, so
Unless it came out on January 1st of 2016, then we're screwed. Yeah.
so was
okay,
that
so something in that
PS4,
window.
PS4, Xbox One?
Yep. Could be because those launched what in 2013.
Mm-hmm. And then PS3, 360,
But that eliminates stuff like the Switch. Like the Switch wasn't
Yeah.
part of it.
Wii U.
Could be Wii U. Could be Wii. Could be a
I would
handheld.
definitely choose a Wii U game. That sounds like something I would do. Absolutely.
That would be a good. That would be a
Play to your dealer,
tricky one
guys.
to
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. Like handhelds. Was the Vita? Was the Vita alive?
It was
when
around.
the-
Yeah, it was around. There were games coming out then. I want to say the Vita launched in like 2011 or 2010.
so-
It was some.
Okay.
Maybe it's after that actually.
So we could do the-
2011, 2012, I think.
Okay. We could do either the exclusive thing or try to figure out if it's multi-platform or exclusive.
Yeah.
We could.
Yeah. Ask. Yeah, I would say ask about exclusivity if you want, or if it's multi-platform.
Yeah, we'll do. I think that one. So was this game multi-platform?
This is the one question I hoped y'all wouldn't ask because it is hard to answer that. But that
Now,
is a
hang
major
on, real
clue.
quick. But real quick before Kyle tries to clarify that, are we talking? Dan, do you mean like multiple consoles? Because technically,
Sorry.
PC
yes.
and a
multiple
console.
consoles.
Okay.
Do you want to? Yeah. So
Yeah,
do you want to say
multiple consoles.
platform and include PC, or are you just saying consoles?
So platform would include PC, but I think we want to
Yeah.
ask: is this
Oh, okay.
multi-console?
No, it is not multi-console. That does help me. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
helps
So
a
then
lot.
on a specific console, then.
Yeah, it's on a specific console, which
Um,
means it still could be
we
on
can-
PC, but we're more thinking about the console side of it.
Sure. I mean, start narrowing that window down because if it's on a
Yep.
specific thing, then you go from there.
Yep. Do you want to go with like Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo first, that slice, or do you want to
Sure.
go by generation first? All right. Is this a Sony console exclusive?
No.
Okay. Dan, do you want to go Nintendo or Microsoft? I
Is
guess
it a
doesn't matter,
Nintendo?
We'll find out.
Yeah, is it a Nintendo exclusive?
No.
So unless we're stupid, it's got to be a Microsoft exclusive. unless Kyle's
That would
talking
be the
about-
last console, but I'm not allowed to say yes or no.
unless Kyle's talking about like some kind of Neo Geo something that released.
You,
you know what I
you
mean?
got me. Yeah.
The Ouya?
You guys,
Ouya?
The Ouya.
Samurai Showdown. Come on, guys. Oh yeah, the Ouya. Jesus, yeah.
The Ouya. I forgot the Ouya existed. Holy
Me
crap.
too. I'm really glad you put that back in my memory.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I forgot about that Ouya memory. Thank you.
All right, Dan. So we're looking at a 2007 to 2015 Xbox exclusive. Probably 360, but it could be Xbox One. I just don't think Xbox One had a ton of exclusives within its first year and a half on the market. But anyway,
Yeah, that would
what do
be
you
hard for me to remember with Xbox
Yeah.
specifically, just because I hadn't really, I mean, you say one out loud, I'll be like, oh right, that was an exclusive, but like off the
Yeah.
top of my head,
Yeah.
I have to sit here and think about that.
Do you want to go with like genre?
Yeah.
Or we could ask some gameplay mechanic, like perspective, if that could help.
Yeah, whether it's first person or third person.
Yeah. All right. Why don't you ask? You pick which one you want to ask about that.
Is this a first person game?
No.
Despite the episode theme, none of us are picking first person games, I don't think.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So I think it's fair to assume that means it's third person, unless there's some weird like second person perspective. Like I don't know what that would even look like.
David mentioned that game. Yeah.
It's just like a mirror, right? Isn't that
Yeah.
looking at you?
I think it's looking
I
at
don't know
you.
what that-
Yeah, right.
I
Yeah.
don't
You're
know what
actually
that even
playing
means.
as God looking down.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
One of those Xbox.
So I mean, this
third
like
person.
Xbox exclusives included stuff like the Gears of War games, of course. During that period, that was third person. Wouldn't be Halo, except for maybe like Halo Wars.
Sure. We could start narrowing down by genre.
We've got Fable, right? So we got RPG, we got action shooter, we got racing. So there's a couple of like Xbox exclusive genres, like the Forza games. Why don't we ask if it's a shooter?
Yeah.
All right, Kyle, is this a shooter?
What do you mean by that?
Should we ask about shooting guns, Dan? Like we asked you that.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you shoot guns in this game?
Yes.
Okay, so you shoot guns.
What do you mean?
What do you mean by that?
All right,
It's
so
a loaded
guns,
question.
third
It's a loaded
person.
question. Yeah.
It is. Yeah, you're
Yeah, but
right.
you could shoot all kinds of things,
Yeah, that
all right, so
means it could be something where you shoot, but you wouldn't necessarily consider it a shooter, right? So you've got, like we talked about earlier, like stuff like Portal and like the Fallout series, like there's stuff like that
Sure.
some people would argue maybe isn't a pure shooter, maybe.
Right.
But we
Yeah.
just talked about how it's not first person. Those are bad examples, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, you can narrow it down as far as like, is it a third person action game, or I guess like you said, well, I'm trying to think. There wouldn't
If you
be any...
shoot guns, but you wouldn't necessarily immediately jump to yes, it's a shooter. It's probably not the Gears of War games because those are absolutely shooters, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say so.
Although, do you shoot any kind of gun in Fable? Because there is like the whole like you have muskets and stuff or whatever.
No, you
it is,
do.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could ask if it's kind of fantasy setting. Does that help?
Yeah.
Maybe.
yeah, because I mean,
All right.
yeah, exactly.
Kyle, is this a fantasy setting?
No.
Not a fantasy setting. Okay. Let's see. We've got Microsoft exclusive, third person. You do shoot guns, not necessarily a shooter, but you do shoot guns. It's not a fantasy setting, so it could be modern. It could be sci-fi. Could be, well, mainly those, I guess. I'm trying to think of what's exclusive to the 360, and I'm trying to get my mind away from just
Remember,
Microsoft
it
published.
was tricky for me to answer that question. I think that's a major clue.
Yeah, I think it is too. Because also, oh, Dan, there's I know what this game is. I know what series it's from. It just hit me.
Okay.
I'm almost positive. Is this game I'm just gonna do you care if I ask the
No,
developer?
go ahead.
Okay. Is this developed by BioWare?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's
Now we got to narrow down which.
because a Mass Effect was a 360 exclusive. Pretty sure.
True.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, the first one was. Yes.
Yeah.
And then the second one came out on PS3, so.
Yeah. Does this game? Should we just ask if it's sci-fi setting? What else? I mean, I guess it
Just
could be
ask if it's
Jade
the first
Empire
in a
because Jade
trilogy.
Empire isn't fantasy. Oh yeah. Is this part of a trilogy? No, because it's not part of. No, hang on, it's not because there's like Andromeda and there's other, so we can't say
okay.
that.
Well, sure. Well, I guess I was meaning specifically for this, like it being on Xbox 360.
Oh,
is what
we could
what my
ask
brain
if we
was.
could ask if it's the first game in a series because stuff like Jade Empire was just a one-off game. It
Sure.
wasn't part of a series. So
Yes.
this is the first
also,
game
there's no
of
shooting in Jade Empire.
Correct. And we wouldn't call Mass Effect a shooter. Is this the first game of a series?
Yes.
Okay. Do you create your own character, like pick their gender and the way they look?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is definitely Commander Shepard from Mass Effect. Dan, do you want to ask if it's that? Is there anything else that we should narrow
Is he
down
in the
with?
Citadel, or are we just gonna ask him if or if he
Go
shops
for
at the
it.
Citadel? I don't remember what this is. This Mass Effect, the first Mass Effect?
Yeah, that's right.
Mass Effect
Boom!
You guys got it.
We got it.
You
How many questions was it, Dan?
13.
Nice.
All right.
Look at
All
that,
right,
we're
well, let's
all
keep
kinda
that going,
hovering
and let's
around.
get this next one. I've got a game for you guys, and we'll get it an even less than that. We're on a roll here right now. All right, here we go. I have a game. You guys have 20 questions to guess. I'll give you 20 questions and the guess. And let the questioning begin. To steal Game Scoop's tagline. Go.
Oh,
We
Tim's
should
not gonna
just keep
kill
on
us.
going. We should just keep on going with dates. I think that would been
Yeah, yeah.
working well.
That's always a
did
good way
this-
to start, for sure.
Did this game come out after 2000?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to just push it to 2010? Just keep on going up
Let's
in
do it.
increments.
Yeah, so this I
did
like
this
I like
game
even,
come
the
out-
even numbers.
Yeah, did this game come out after 2010?
Yes.
Okay. Do we want to do
We can do it
fives
one more-
now, or do we?
Ooh, I mean, it might be worth it. Yeah. Did this game come out after 2015?
Did it come out after 2015? No.
Okay. Okay. So it could be from 2010 to 2015 is where it can be. Is the
Yes,
pockets.
okay.
Which is 360, PS3, a little bit of Xbox, PS2, I guess. No. Yeah, that's right. Right?
No, wait. Hold on. What was the window?
2010
It
to
was-
2015 is the window.
2010 to 2015. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so definitely PS3 360. Was PS2 tail end? When was the?
Probably not. I guess that
I'm
was
I'm so bad at dates.
2004 and 2005, like this console generation started. So no, I have that wrong. Let's not get too hung up on that. What is this an RPG or an action game?
I think I'd have to say yes.
Okay, the ambiguity is noted.
RPG or action game? Okay. Now we can
Yeah.
narrow it down specifically. If it's one of those two, right? Then
I guess we
can
could,
ask.
but he couldn't even answer one of them, so I don't know if it's worth burning a question over. Because, like, is it RPG? Yeah,
Hey.
I can.
In the spirit of this holiday weekend, just to be a little generous on this, I wouldn't call it either one of those on their own. That's all I'll say.
Okay, elements of
okay.
those things.
so
is
an
this
action RPG.
Is this is it a shooter? Is that worth asking then? Just because it's not hardcore one of those, and shooting can have both of those.
It's true. Because I mean,
Should we-
Mass Effect is technically like a third-person shooter RPG, right? So
Yeah.
we can keep narrowing down the genre.
Shooters, again, I said shooters kind of loaded. Yeah. Is this we can kill it with a perspective, like ask if it's a first person or a third person game. Is this a first person game?
No.
Okay.
So third
I think
person.
that's 5 questions if I'm tracking this correctly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Should we ask
so
about console
third-
exclusivity?
Sure.
Is this exclusive to the PlayStation console?
No.
Okay.
Okay. So then move.
We
So
kill the other
Xbox.
two?
Is this a Xbox exclusive?
No.
It may not be a console exclusive at all. It could just be a PC game.
Okay.
So if we get a no,
Okay.
if we get a no on Wii or Nintendo rather,
Oh, sure.
yeah, that Yeah, it could be a Sega Dreamcast game, right? They're still making those games, not in 2010.
No, I don't know. I don't think they were.
Not that long. Yeah, they barely made games the first year that console launched. So
Yeah, come
Oh,
on.
sad.
I love that console. It was a
Dude,
mess.
I still have mine. Yeah, I still
Still is
have
a
mine.
mess. Do you really?
Yeah. I still got it.
It's a great console.
Yeah, we could just do
God,
Nintendo, knocked out the big three, and just
yeah,
see.
yeah. Is this a Nintendo exclusive?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay. So
Should we ask if it's part of an existing franchise?
So we're assuming then it's PC. Is that safe?
I guess. Yeah, I guess there, but like, yeah, I guess I don't know.
I'm trying to think. There's nothing else it could have been if it wasn't
No.
Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo.
But it could
Sega
have just
was
come out
out
on
of the.
everything. That's the thing. You know, it's not that it didn't come out on those things. It could very well have come out just on everything, or just two of those things, or three of those things. You know, we kind of blew some questions there, hoping that it was going to be a yes for one of them. Yeah, I mean, should we ask? I don't know. Yeah.
So third person, combination action RPG.
Or elements of it, yeah.
Elements of it. Third person.
Not an exclusive on consoles. Should we just ask if it's part of an existing franchise so we can at least think about that? Is this part of an existing franchise?
I actually don't know, just because of the unsure nature of status of franchises these days. I don't know.
Okay. Interesting.
So ask a different question. That one won't count against your number.
Is this a game with multiple entries in a series?
Yes.
Okay.
That's 9.
Ugh. I don't know, Dan.
All right, we could start asking about settings, like sci-fi versus
sure,
fantasy.
yeah, genre, yeah, genre settings, yeah.
All right, so is this game in a fantasy setting?
Yeah, that's 10.
Okay.
Fantasy setting. Window of time.
Third person.
RPG.
2010 to 2015. RPG action.
Do
we ask like where it was developed, like country? You know.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good way to know because
I
have an idea in my head, but
what's your idea so we can workshop it?
Well, I was gonna say if we narrow by like region, whether it's from the States or Japan or Europe, then I was gonna ask, do you is it a create a character or is there a set like main character? That's what I was gonna like go down that path.
Go down that path, yeah. Ask about character creation.
All right. Do you create your character in this game?
No.
Okay.
So you don't create.
We can ask if it's a Western game, and if it's a yes Western game, we can narrow it down. Is it European or American? I guess. And if it's a no, it's probably Japan. You know, and Western being like Czech and Pole and like everything in Europe, pretty much. Just to clarify that, I guess. You want to do that?
Yeah, do it.
Is this a Western developed video game?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to narrow it down further, Dan? Like, was this made in the States?
Right. Yes. Was this was this made in the United States?
Yes. I think that's 13.
Okay. That's helpful.
It is.
Yeah.
So, third person, built by American dev,
RPG, actiony, not an exclusive. Third person. Oh man. A lot of third-person games made by the West in this era. While the 360 was thriving, a lot of games.
Trying to think of another way to more specifically narrow it down.
First-person shooter.
Fantasy. Let's not forget the fantasy.
I did forget about that. Thank you. Fantasy.
Yes, fantasy.
Okay.
So hold on. So a fantasy game made by an American dev.
Yeah,
because I mean, usually my brain's going to RPGs in Japan and things like that. So
yeah, right.
I'm trying to think with American devs fantasy.
It's like not Rockstar. That's London. It's not.
Who was the
Like
dev
Witcher
of
stuff.
yeah,
Not,
because that would be
could
Europe.
be BioWare. Could be.
Who made Fable? Where were they
Fable was
located?
British, hella British.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hella-
yeah, couldn't be more British.
Okay.
And it's an exclusive as well.
Sure.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, I'm kind of out of steam. I don't. I think I'm circling on BioWare, but that'd be crazy if he and I both chose a BioWare. That'd be absolutely insane. It's fantasy.
Yeah.
Could be Bethesda. That they're very American.
Well, Bethesda, or it could still be BioWare, but the other series, Kyle.
What is that?
Dragon Age.
Dragon Age, yeah. Why would Tim choose Dragon Age? Just to throw us a curveball?
I don't know.
The game series he won't play. He chose that one.
That would be
just on principle. I won't start it.
But hey, that is fantasy.
It'd be so hilarious. So it's like, yeah, I really got you. He doesn't seem like a good guy.
But it's a possibility. Just saying.
It is a possibility. Yeah,
it's a possibility.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's also Bethesda.
Maybe it's Bethesda. Maybe we pull on that string a little bit. Like this is like
you want to you could just say straight up Bethesda.
Elder Scrolls. Is this a Bethesda game?
No.
Okay. Well, I see. I'm off track now. So BioWare.
But I mean, that crosses all of those games off. That crosses all.
It's
of those
true.
off.
Yeah, it crosses a lot off. Yeah.
Because we're kind of like bouncing around here. So.
Yeah. Fantasy.
I think you guys are closer than you think.
Okay. Should we ask if it's a BioWare game?
Sure. Do it.
Is this a BioWare game?
Nope. That's 15.
Okay.
Couldn't be that close because those are.
I think you are.
Things.
You're just the one right question away.
I don't know what that question is.
I know.
The one question
chasm between.
I can't. I want to tell you the question, but if I do, it gives you the answer, so I can't.
Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
What other American
not
devs?
Bethesda. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, who American? Do we make games? And why am I thinking?
Yes.
EA,
I'm just trying to think
Activision,
of fantasy games.
EA, Activision, fantasy game. I've got no clue. It's not Bethesda. It's not Bio.
And I mean, I love fantasy games. How am I not thinking what this possibly is from an American dev?
I've got no clue. I've got no clue on this one. It's not on any console that we said, so it's probably on everything.
I mean,
what came out on everything? What was fantasy? What was third-person fantasy? 2010 to 2015.
Do we want to ask like if it's like AAA versus like indie or something to try to help us go in a certain direction? I
assume it's AAA, but I guess we don't know for sure.
Yeah. Because I mean that at least kind of like adds a little extra wrinkle. Well, not wrinkle because that would be a bad thing, right? But because my brain is blank. I'm not
third person. Yeah, me too. I literally have no questions to ask.
I know for sure. I know for sure. Kyle and I have played this a lot. I don't know if Dan has, but I'm pretty
played it a lot. That, if anything, that makes me mad that I can't think about it. Played it a lot. An American game. Who am I? I don't.
Oh wait. Where's Blizzard from?
Blizzard. What would I play from Blizzard? They're Activision now, but I don't know where Blizzard comes from. I have no idea where they come from, to be honest.
Well, because I mean, my brain was playing fantasy, so I was thinking like World of Warcraft and stuff like that. But
yeah,
that's where my brain was going.
Should we ask if it's an MMORPG? But he would have said this is an RPG then. Like that's that's an RPG.
Well, there's RPG and there's MMORPG.
No, they're the same thing, just one has people in it.
Right, exactly. That's a huge difference.
No, it's not. It's an RPG with people in it. He would have said it's an RPG unless he was just being really mean. What fantasy game is not an RPG though? Like what? I'm just mad
Oh,
now.
man.
I don't know. This is how every time
Just
it's
mad.
Tim's choice. He always picks one I
Alright.
just can't get to. It makes me angry.
Do you mind if I ask the AAA whatever the versus?
Yeah.
Okay, is this a AAA game?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a big budget game, American studio, fantasy,
Yeah.
RPG action.
The only fantasy game ever to not be an RPG.
One thing that you asked that you haven't brought back up to is that it is part of a series. You asked me if it was
Series.
ongoing. I said I don't know, but it's not the
Yeah.
only and it's not the only entry.
I couldn't even begin to know
And
what it is.
what were the console window again that we're even playing around with here?
2010 to 2015. Pretty much Xbox 360, PS3, Wii.
I mean, it's also 2 years
PC.
into the PS4 and Xbox One.
Is it?
They
When did that
launched in
come out? In
2013.
20? Oh, okay.
2013.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so
Time flies, man. Looking back on those, I can't believe that was so long ago.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, it's
10
tricky
years
too
ago.
remembering the overlaps because things do
13,
overlap.
12 years
so.
ago? Yeah, I don't know.
There's a couple of
gonna
hacks that they use on shows like Game Scoop when they get to this point.
Yeah. Have we
Like-
said this game already? That's a hack.
Like
You can
depends
say
on
that.
what do you
I
mean
don't
since
remember.
we've been doing
All
this
episode.
round.
Yeah, all
Oh.
episode. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a
I'll
game
use that as-
said out loud. Yeah.
Yes.
The game has been spoken. That
Mhm.
doesn't help at all. It doesn't help me. It doesn't even kind of help me.
I mean, it does. Hold on, because
yeah, okay.
let's
ahead.
go back. Let's go back.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft.
Everybody. Yeah, he's talking about it was nebulous until I said the whole episode. Then it was a quick yes. So it may have been during y'all's segment. Could have been during.
Sure,
You
but
know,
we were talking about first-person shooters. Oh, well, no, because we did
No,
ask
it's not.
Bethesda,
Yeah.
so it's not Fallout. Trying to think, what did we mention earlier? Potentially.
That's a fantasy game. I don't. I've
Yeah,
got no
I
clue.
didn't.
Yeah.
Mention any fantasy
Did
games?
we ask if it was a BioWare game? Did we ask that already?
Yes. Yeah, we did.
Did we? Yeah, and it was a no, right? No BioWare, no Bethesda. Yeah. It's like, is it Jade Empire? He said that really quick.
Oh yeah,
That's BioWare.
well, there's Jade Empire.
That's BioWare. It's not even.
Oh, yeah, okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm cranky.
I don't know. Yeah. What number are we at? Can we just say we quit?
You've got 4 questions
Right.
left.
Yeah, we got 4
Yeah.
questions left.
You know,
Wow.
on
Yeah.
Game Scoop, Kyle, I know you listen to it. There's something that people like Sam ask a lot about,
It's a
like the
character wear a
source
hat.
material and stuff like that. Like,
Oh, is
They
it
do
part
ask
of a? I don't know. I wouldn't know. I don't know if that would help me if I knew if it was part of an IP or something like that. I honestly don't know if that would help me.
I'm just trying to rack my brain of what we've said already.
Yeah. I don't know what I said 5 seconds ago, so I don't know why I thought that was going to be helpful to me.
Damn it, dude.
Mm,
Yeah, my
Yeah.
brain is just blanking. I
Wow.
don't remember what.
I'm done. I quit.
I'm done.
I don't know. You're just going to have to tell me. Dan, just
Um,
quit.
Not
come
quitting.
on, Dan,
Kyle.
ask a question. You can do it.
You're
You
not
can do
quit.
it.
You're not quitting on me, Kyle.
Ask me about
I'm
the
done.
developer.
We did.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm trying to think of
Yeah,
developers
we
that are
did,
from the States that
From the
made a
States,
fantasy game.
Well, you asked if it was made
Mhm.
in the U.S. I said yeah.
Hmm.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just don't know why my brain is not connecting like the fantasy element. The fantasy element is what's throwing me off of like connecting to devs from the States. My brain is just not braining right now.
There's not too many. There's even fewer now.
It's true.
That was a hint.
It wasn't.
It was. It
No,
was.
well,
I
so
promise.
it could. I mean, it could be, but again, that might not still help us narrow because that kind of makes it sound like, oh, is this from like a dev that no longer is around? You know, like
Yeah, that's definitely what he's
Or shut-
insinuating. But 1,000 devs
Yeah.
have shut down over the last like 5
Sure,
years, so
yeah.
that doesn't help me at all.
But I'm also mad that we've apparently mentioned this out loud. We've said it.
I'm
out
not.
loud.
That tracks for me. That doesn't make me mad. That
That
tracks.
tracks for me.
Yeah.
All right.
Shit.
So are we giving up?
I don't know, man. Are there dragons in this game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although they might not be called dragons, but yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't. Yeah.
Are we sure it's not Bethesda?
Yeah.
We're sure.
Like, oh man. Okay, well, dragons, but you don't call them dragons. I hate this so much. 'Cause I know the second Tim says it, I'm gonna be furious. Cause it's like it's gonna be just like, oh yeah, of course, duh. No
Yeah.
shit. Like
Kyle, you said that there's a question that wouldn't really help you, but you might as well ask. Maybe it'll give Dan that little spark.
Is this part of something that was originally source material? I don't know how he words it. Is this an IP that exists outside of gaming?
Yes.
this outside of gaming?
So it could be based
Like
off a book,
like a
based off
licensed
movie,
IP.
based off a TV. Yeah, it could be a TV
So,
show.
I mean, freaking Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. Oh wait. Shoot, we were mentioning Lord of the Rings earlier, right? Didn't we mention Lord of the Rings? We mentioned Mordor, the
Lord
Mordor
of the
team,
Rings game came
Monolith
out
or whatever.
after 2010. Oh yeah, Shadow of War. Yes, pull on that string. Go for it. Do it.
Like, so Lord of the Rings string, is that what we're
Yeah.
pulling?
We can ask
Alright.
if it's from Monolith Soft or whatever. That would probably be the most direct, path.
Is that the full I didn't remember the full name of the studio, so I didn't want to.
I'm just gonna say Monolith, and I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Is this a game from Monolith?
Yes.
Is this a sequel?
Wait. Oh no.
It's not a sequel. So it's the first one.
And that's your last question.
Okay. So
so it was Shadow of War, right? Was that the first one?
No, Shadow of War is the second one. Shadow of Mordor is the first one.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So go ahead, Kyle.
That one. Is it Shadow of Mordor? Even though Dan got us there, it's very kind of him to give it to me.
It is Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor.
Man, that's all Dan.
See,
did.
never give up, Kyle. Never give
No,
up.
I gave up. I gave up, and I still feel good about it. So I still feel good about it. It's fine. I got both. I got both things.
Do you know why I feel good about it? Is it because I know that Kyle? I know you especially like that game. Dan, I don't know if you played the Shadow games.
I did.
So many hours of that game. Both of those games. Yeah, absolutely.
The second
They're
one,
so
not
good.
I don't think I did the second one, but the first one I
He's so
definitely
right.
did.
It's not an RPG. It's not either of those things really.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's both.
No.
But
It is both.
Yeah,
because you have
you wouldn't-
RPG elements that you're leveling up.
But I can see why it's a question worth being coy about, because it's I
It's
wouldn't be
technically it's like a
you are-
action RPG adventure. It's
Yeah,
open world action with stealth. Like it's
I'm
all
gonna
of those
start
things.
asking a new cheat question is: does this game have Arkham combat? We're gonna start asking that,
Ooh,
because
that's
that
good.
really I think it covers a
That's
lot of
real
stuff.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys. Hey,
Good
listen,
job.
we won all 3 of
we
our
go.
20 questions games. Well done.
Awesome.
Good job,
Did it.
everybody. Hey,
job,
as
us.
we wrap up this episode, before we call it an episode, is there anything you guys have been playing recently, or any updates on stuff you've been playing that you want to shout out? Dan, we can start with you.
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
So since we last recorded, I did finish Expedition 33.
Ooh.
And it was hilarious actually, because that game is very much designed where, like, when you're at the end and it's like, all right, you can go everywhere. It's kind of basically like, if you want a challenge at the end, then just go straight to the end. because what I did was did a crap ton of side stuff, and then I went to the end and I just decimated everyone.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
the end is leveled
Absolutely.
at 55. Yeah, the end
Yeah.
is leveled at 55. And
Oh,
like
it doesn't
you
scale or
you
anything. Like
surpass that
it's
very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
I was at level 88 basically when I went into that
Oh
area.
yeah.
So I
It's a real epic
eviscerated
moment into a
everyone.
real one-sided fight. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You're missing every
Um,
parry and extra attack. Doesn't matter. It doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter.
yeah, it didn't matter. I eviscerated all of my enemies there. Yeah, that game is excellent. It's a great game. It's yeah, just emotions galore.
Sticks to
How
landing.
hard did you cry? Not did you cry, but how hard did you cry?
Yeah,
is the
honestly,
question.
shockingly, just the opening of that game made me tear up pretty heavy. The rest of the
Oh, okay,
game,
okay.
like I kind of like I felt really like it like kind of was almost there. But it was more the beginning that kind of like latched onto me, like feelings of like associated with my wife and like kind of like that particular moment,
Oh,
like
yeah,
oh shit,
totally.
like you know, like
Right.
so yeah.
Got it.
But yeah, the rest of the game is just like oh this is like freaking sad, and like I was like
There's
borderline like you know tearing up, but
and this is not a spoiler, but there's a real interesting philosophical choice at the end that
yeah,
I can't wait to like trade note just because it's says a lot about like how you perceive the game depending on what you
right.
kind of choose at the end.
Interesting.
There's not a
Okay.
wrong answer. It's just how the game landed on you. Like how
Yeah.
do you reciprocate via a choice? And it's very philosophical and deep. And I can see there being great conversations about why you chose either or, you know, or what's the real ending, or what, you know, the right ending. Real is probably not the right word, but you know, what's the right ending? What's the wrong ending? Is that even a thing? You know, so
Yeah.
Love that.
good stuff.
Sure.
Nice.
So yeah, that game's excellent. And then I started my palate cleanser game, which is Bionic Bay, which we've mentioned a couple times. And I remember when I saw that game, I was just like, oh, this game just looks really nice because it's just really pretty pixel art, but like it's also very kind of like dystopian. Like it's just there's a lot of like mechanical, like kind of rusty, like big like metal objects and stuff kind of like in the background, and that's kind of like the general vibe of the environments and what you're seeing throughout the game. It's super cool, dude. It's a really cool puzzle platformer. I mentioned to you guys it is like a little floaty, but it's like floaty in the sense of like because there's realistic physics. So like that's playing into the whole thing, and like when you're jumping you're having to kind of like take into consideration if you just keep holding the analog stick right, you're gonna like accelerate and keep moving forward, so you kind of have to compensate for that and like tilt the stick back a little bit if you want to
A lot of
land somewhere
momentum.
that's a little the momentum and stuff like that, but you get used to it.
Yeah.
At least I feel like you would. Like you kind of like get the gist of what's going on. But yeah, it's I don't know, maybe it's I don't know if it's because I just don't play a ton of these that it just feels fresh to me, but like every little area that you go into, and this game's actually pretty long. I think that's maybe like the only con that I have. How Long to Beat has it at 7 hours, which I feel like for a game like this, like honestly you could cut that in half and that would have been perfect. But like I'm not hating that I'm still like, because I think I'm close. I think I have maybe a couple hours left.
Okay.
So I'm not hating my experience. I just feel like maybe people would have gotten into it maybe a bit more if it was shorter. But but yeah, the puzzle elements are really cool. Each like world that you're jumping, or each section, like kind of like room or area that you go into, like they're kind of like giving you like little tweaks and changing different things as you're going through. Like they're keeping it fresh. Like as you're going through each area, it's not just like this area is this thing and you're constantly doing this one thing. It's kind of like, oh, it tweaks it a little bit and then it kind of goes whacking the mic. It goes back to that, but then it kind of like swings back around and adds a little extra element to it. So yeah, it's really fun. I'm super enjoying it. I'm having a good time.
I mean, it's got an 87 on OpenCritic. The critics love it.
Really
The users on Steam love it. So
yeah, and it's very pretty. There's like these certain shots where like when you're walking along and there's like water at the bottom of the screen and you can see like the reflection of your guy running and it just like looks really sick.
Nice.
Yeah, if you're into it, if anybody's into, you know, those kind of, you know, if you like puzzle games that have the, you know, mixture with platforming, it's really fun. I would give it a try.
Nice.
And then the only other thing, the other movies, because I've been watching more movies recently. I watched Heretic, Chronicle, Y'all remember Chronicle? That's a
Mm-mm.
thing. That's like
Oh,
the
with
found
the
footage
superpowers?
superhero. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I think they just added it to HBO Max, which, by the way, they're changing that back to HBO Max. We're so back, guys. We're so back.
I never stopped calling it that. So in my brain, nothing's changed.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So yeah, I watched Heretic, which I remember thinking that looked really interesting with was it Hugh Grant? He's really good
Oh
at like
yeah, yeah.
being creepy, but like not acting creepy. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
kind of like that walking that line of like, oh, this guy seems like a genuine like good guy, but then like obviously as things start unraveling and it's like, oh no, like there's bad things happening here. Hugh Grant is involved with things. But like he still has like this kind of like persona, and the way he's like, you know, kind of acting is still like he's not like a psychopath. It's very off-putting, but he does a good job with it. Yeah, that movie was pretty interesting. I did like that one. Yeah, Chronicles just really cool. The found footage is kind of like a classic thing, but like mixing it with superhero, right? Because found footage kind of started with Blair Witch, right? That was like the main
Yeah.
first like
It
big
was
thing.
it was mainstream by that, but we've been doing found footage since
Sure.
like the 70s. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But
Cannibal
yeah, kinda like
Holocaust is technically found footage, you know, and that movie was made like in
Cannibal
70.
Holocaust.
Yeah,
Sounds
horrible
delightful.
movie. I mean, it's considered
does.
one of the most like hardcore movies of all time. It's I don't want to get into it. It's not a movie podcast.
Sure.
Go watch it. Whatever.
But yeah, Chronicle's actually pretty cool. I remember when my wife and I originally went to go see it, we were in the theater and these freaking dumbass teenagers were in front of us and they kept yapping, so it like ruined the
Of
experience.
course.
So this was a fun rewatch because like it actually is a fun movie. I did enjoy it. And it's got Michael B. Jordan in it, and he's great. He's
Put
just
all
like
those
he's
people
just
on the map. Like all those people got like
yeah,
are super famous now. You know, so
yeah.
yeah,
And
we're
then
making a movie.
and then leaning into the Speed. I watched Speed last time. More 90s good stuff. True Lies.
Oh.
Arnold
Perfect
Schwarzenegger.
movie.
Dude,
It's a perfect action movie.
what a 90s movie. What a 90s
Yeah.
ass 90s movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tom
yeah.
Arnold
And
is
just-
so funny. Bill Paxton.
He's so great. Oh, Bill
Yeah.
Paxton's
Yeah.
so great in that movie. Yeah.
Bill Paxton
It's
just pissing himself because he's terrified, but he's trying to be all cool and suave and
chronic
like trying to
liar.
get ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a chronic liar. And just the Arnold, like you know, one-liners, the zingers when he fires the guy that's on the missile, and he's like, "You're fired," and he just freaking literally
Perfect. It's
fires
a perfect
him.
movie.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's just good stuff, man. That's good stuff. But yeah,
Love it.
that's what I got.
Dude, those are some good films you're working your way through. I love it. That's awesome.
I'm bouncing
Kyle, what
around
about
to
you?
some
Anything
different
else
stuff.
you're playing or watching you want to highlight?
Yeah, I am in a big sim hole right now. So I was playing Schedule 1 last week. That kind of led me to TCG Store Simulator, which is
Mm.
the dumbest concept in the entire world. It's like, hey, what if you ran a store that sells Pokemon cards, you know?
Sure.
Mhm.
And I used to go into these shops all the time as a kid. So like there is a little bit of like living out of fantasy here a bit. And
Yeah.
it's awesome. The game's so cool. I love
You
choring,
set
man.
prices
I mean,
and trying like all that kind of stuff, right?
Tim and I are big chore guys, and there's a lot of chores in this one for sure. But yes, there's an economy that you're constantly watching. You know, there's you know, you want to buy like hot ticket items and put them on your shelves. Make sure you don't run out of them. There's just a lot going on, but it's super fun, and there's a collection aspect of it too, because like you're back there breaking open booster packs trying to collect all the
Oh.
cards. But also you can
okay.
sell some of the cards. I opened up a booster and immediately got like a $1,200 card. And like that
Ooh.
set me off way early in that game. I was able to sell
Nice.
it pretty easily, and it's just cool. I ripped off some guy. Some guy came in who had like an $800 card, and he's like, "I want $40 for it." I'm like, "I'll give you 30." He's like, "Okay," and I'm like, "Yeah, an idiot."
Oh, that's actually
kept
fun.
that
Like
one.
kind of like haggling, you know?
Yeah. There's a lot of haggling. There's some back and forth. Some people know what they have. Some people don't. You know, some people come in and ask like way over market value. It's just fun. If you like sim games like Gas Station Simulator or any of these other like chory games, Power Wash Simulator, any of that stuff, this is just like that. You know, it's a business sim, day-to-day life type sim.
I mean,
game.
Dan did the supermarket one, right? So he's right there with us.
Yeah.
Is that one
That's
good?
true.
Remember what you? I forgot what you said about
It's
that
all
one.
so many of those are like it's clearly like the same engine or same assets.
It's the same
but yeah,
thing
I
usually
did
too. Same loop.
I did like it. It's for whatever reason just it clicks in your brain like, oh,
I
I'm
don't know,
putting stuff
man.
on a shelf and I'm organizing things. It's like,
Yeah.
you know
There's
what I
like
mean?
there's a real hardcore one more day. It's like, okay, I got that day. I had spent a lot. I need to make one. Let me do one more day. Let me make a profit, and then I'll end there. And it's
Right.
4 hours later, and you're like, I've got not Charizard, and it's holographic, and I'm selling it for 2,000. You know, like it is
Not
wacky how
Charizard.
You
it's
know what's
wacky
sad,
how
Kyle?
yeah,
Because
it's
Yeah.
legally safe Charizard. You know.
Yeah.
but you know
Don't
what's
sue
sad
us,
though? Because you were
Nintendo
just
Charizard.
mentioning going to like the card shops and stuff, and like, I mean, I
Yeah.
worked at GameStop for years, so you would think
Same,
I would
yeah.
nothing to do with ever working at a GameStop ever, game store ever again. But I want like a good sim like game shop. You know what?
It would
A,
be
Yeah.
a
cool.
game shop
I'd be into
sim.
that.
I want a good
This is
one.
Yeah.
pretty close to that. You know, like you're as
It'd be
Yeah.
close
cool
to
too if it was
vertical
like
as
if it
you
let you craft your game shop. Like you want to be a retro game shop, you want to be a modern game
Mm,
shop, you want to
No,
be
get
like
out of
yeah,
here.
yeah,
I'm so
yeah,
into this idea. Make this game,
yeah,
yeah.
somebody. Somebody
yeah.
talented, make
Someone
it.
make this game.
My favorite
Somebody
aspect
tell.
is, and it's so eat your own, but like smelly people will come in and there's like flies around them. And like they will drive
Okay.
away customers, so you have to go up to them and like spray them with like cleaner.
Oh
And
my
you're like,
God! Stop it!
stop, you know?
Stop
Or
it!
else you'll get bad reviews because you have smelly
Oh
people in
my
your
gosh.
store. And I'm like, I'm trying to say nerds are like, you know,
Stinky.
smelly.
Yeah,
And I've
stinky.
been to an anime convention. Yeah, you are. You're smelly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
thanks for putting that in there.
There's a
We're a smelly
stench.
bunch, not us
Yeah,
specifically, but like the grouping of
Right.
nerds
Right.
is
the
a
Right. Right.
royal
smelly
we. Yeah,
royal we.
yeah. Totally.
Anyways, really enjoying that one. I'm just gonna bring up one real quick. What I want to talk about it next week. It is a new game that came out today, and it's a game I've been waiting for like over a year for, and it's JDM, Japanese Master Drifter or something like that. It's only on PC
Oh.
right now. It's a budget racer. It's like I got it for like $30, I think.
Oh,
And it is literally Initial D, the video game. It's all about
Ooh.
drifting down mountaintops while Japanese style Eurobeat music is blaring like through your speakers, and like I didn't even know they were still making Japanese Eurobeat music, but like it's literally just Initial D. Like it's everything about it's just Initial D. You start in a not 8.6, Toyota Terreno, and work your way through like what is an actual story, and like it cuts to like manga like panels, or when it's telling you the story that way.
Sick.
yeah, it
It's
does.
very stylistic. It's very cool. I think this like the dev team is like 5 people. It looks AAA, but I would call it more AA.
Yeah.
It does not
Yeah.
look like a budget game. It does not have a budget content. Like this is a very cool game that I can't wait to play a little more of. I can't speak too much on it because I only played like a couple races, but it's
Okay.
drifting focused, and it's it's a lot of sprinting and downhill. I did a mission where like I had to pick up like a hot girl from the beach because like there's like a dumb story going on there, and then I have to go get a job at a sushi place where I have to like drive sushi across town without knocking around too much because the sushi will fall over. So you have to do really, really, really precise
course.
drifts and stuff. It's just cool,
It's
man.
amazing.
I really like it. I love Initial D. I grew up watching that anime and listening to all the music, and this is absolutely a game for people who grew up watching that anime and jamming out to music from Para Paradise or whatever. So
That's awesome.
I'll speak more on it next week. So
Okay, nice. Yeah, I've been mostly playing Doom, The Dark Ages. I spent a lot of time in. Well, Chapter 5 isn't as long, but there are a lot of optional things you can do there's a new mode of transportation, let's just say, in Chapter 5.
Yes. Yes.
And then Chapter 6, very much. We talked about this last week, and I just was aware of it, but I hadn't gotten there. I hadn't played it yet. And so I finished Chapter 6 this week. I spent probably maybe a full hour and a half, close to 2 hours, just in Chapter 6 because I wanted to find everything. I wanted to go to all the corners of the map. I wanted to go into all the caves. I wanted to find all the secret keys. And I still left a few things on the table. I think I finished at like a 92% of Chapter 6. I did most of it, and there's a lot to do in that. But it felt like a mini open world for that section, which was super, super fun. Lots of major fights and optional challenges. It was just a really good time. So I'm just super loving Doom: The Dark Ages. I'm having a blast with that game. So that's really the only gaming I've done this week is that one. Now, this weekend, I'll be traveling a bit. So hoping to... I mean, it's too bad that our trip isn't just literally like 2 weeks later I could play my Switch 2, but...
I know,
it's
yeah.
I keep forgetting how close it is.
So
It's like
close,
coming up.
guys. Yeah.
Very
It's
close.
soon. Yeah.
I'm gonna
But,
get to play
yeah, I'll be
Yakuza
playing-
0 finally.
That's right. That's true. But I'll be playing... probably I'm going to see how Clair Obscur does on the Steam Deck. I'll just see if that performs well. So I'll try that. But otherwise, I've got plenty of games on the Switch, of course, and the Steam Deck to play. So should be a good time. I was looking at recent releases and releases from this week, and I don't have any videos of them, but just to acknowledge them for you guys, because I know that some of these will interest you. Of course, Onimusha 2: Samurai's Destiny is out tomorrow for $30. So that game's out.
Hell yeah.
So don't miss that one. Speaking of sim games, there's a game called King of Retail 2 that comes out tomorrow. I don't know if it's any good, but
Okay.
I'm gonna wish list that real quick.
King of
Let me go ahead and get the special edition.
I need chores and economy. That's all I need in my life.
That's all I need. There's this kind of isometric. It looks a little like old school Grand Theft Auto. It does not drive like it though, because I played the demo for Deliver at All Costs.
Oh yeah.
Kind of a wacky driver game. It's like think Crazy Taxi, but more violent and insane. Like if you make someone mad on the road, men, women, whoever, they'll jump on your car and try to beat you with a baseball bat. Like everyone gets really aggressive if you hit their car or if you get close to hitting them or whatever. So like
people are saying there's a real destroy all humans like vibe to it.
Yes, good. That's a good comparison. Yeah. So
like goofy,
it's wacky. And you're delivering like fireworks that won't stop going off, so you're blowing up the neighborhood and cars around you as you drive because they keep firing. So like it's wild. But that's out, and we all know we like tactical games around here. We've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, another TMNT game. Tactical Takedown comes out this week as well.
Is it XCOM Turtles? Is that what it is?
Nah, it looks more like Fire Emblem Turtles.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You sounded so disappointed by that.
I know. I didn't mean to sound that way.
I like Fire Emblem. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, it's okay, I guess. No, it's got that. It's definitely a very small field. So think more like Advance Wars. It's a really small field on the images I'm seeing.
Just get right to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas Fire Emblem, of course, oftentimes is like much more epic and sprawling with some of their maps as you're battling. But and then one last one I wanted to highlight, just because the art style looks cool. Don't know if it's any good, but I do like me a good action platformer. It's called An Amazing Wizard. So go look that one up. I think that one looks really cool because I like my side-scrolling action platformers with cool art. So this appears to be one of those. But anyway, I think that does it for us this week. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening to us play a couple of silly games. I hope you guys all have a good holiday weekend. Hopefully, when you're listening to this, it's probably on Monday. Most of you listen on Monday or watch on Monday. Hopefully, you also have the day off and are able to relax and play some games. Maybe you're listening to us while you play games. So appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.